Hello, 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 party people in the house. Let's let's go. Let's get it started. We're not gonna waste any time. We are going to dive right on in. Um, we're gonna dive right on in. So, chat, today was the release of the Jund Commander deck. Yes, that is right. The Jund Commander deck, uh, which is it's a pretty interesting one because it has a spacecraft chat as the commander. Feels Jund, man. Feels so Jund. We Jundin. When in doubt, Jund them out, and that is what we are going to do. So yeah, what's interesting about this deck is that this is the first time we're seeing a spacecraft, legendary artifact spacecraft, as the commander. And then there is a kind of more regular creature as the secondary commander. But yeah, first and foremost, we have a spacecraft commander, and let's just kind of dive right on into it. Let's just go right on in. Zoop. All right. So let's read this card here. There we go. Alrighty, friends. Let's read this card here. This is... Oops. Okay, don't worry about it. It's fine. I just simply hit the start and stop button really quickly. You'll notice the... you didn't notice anything, chat. You didn't notice anything. I meant to hit start recording, and I hit stop stream. It's fine. This is all normal. Everything is fine. Nothing's different. Anywho, welcome chat to Kuro Hitsuki's instant deck review of Hearthhull, the World Seed. So right now we are looking at this on Moxfield.com. Moxfield.com has a specific section on its website for precons. You can see it right. You go to explore decks, explore Commander precons, and then they already have the World Shaper Edge of Eternities Commander Precon deck list right here. The real deck list was... it's my beginning of stream yawns that happen no matter what. Yeah, the real deck list, is over on Wizards' own website, so, that's how you can verify that this is the correct deck tech. And it is. I verified it myself. Yeah, alright, so... Hearthhull, the World Seed, 1 black, red, and green for a legendary artifact spacecraft with the Station ability. And we'll talk about this first. This Station ability is to tap another creature you control, put charge counters equal to its power on this spacecraft. Station only as a sorcery, and it is an artifact creature when it is at 8 plus charge counters, right? So... this card starts out, it doesn't have any abilities. It is a 4 mana artifact that's just there, right? It has no abilities. Then, at sorcery speed, so 1 creature at a time, you have to tap a creature, and you add you add charge counters equal to that creature's power to the Hearthhull, right? Now, when you have 2 or more charge counters on Hearthhull, you get the following ability. Pay 1 and tap Hearthhull. Sacrifice a land, right? You get to draw 2 cards, and you may play an additional land this turn, okay? So very clearly, we see that this is already a card that is about sacrificing a land you control, but you get to draw 2 cards and then play a new land that turn, right? Forgive me, chat. It happens at the beginning of every stream. Okay. So that's at 2 charge counters. Now, hello, Eris. Once we get to 8 charge counters, so, you tap, multiple creatures over time, whatever. You add 8 or more charge counters to Hearthhull. You retain the ability that you have at 2 charge counters, as well as you have Flying, Vigilance, Haste. It is a 6/7, and it says whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life, okay? So, wrapping this all up again, Hearthhull the World Seed is a 1 black, red, and green legendary artifact spacecraft with Station, And once you get to 2 charge counters, you can pay 1, tap, and sacrifice a land. You get to draw 2 cards and play an additional land this turn. And then once you get to 8 charge counters, it turns into a 6/7 with flying, vigilance, haste, and whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. You still retain that, 2 plus charge counter ability. And there you have it, right? So this commander is all about sacrificing lands, right? And then playing more lands, getting them back, whatever, and eventually making your opponents each lose 2 life every time you sacrifice a land. And I am personally very, very interested in making the commander win with that very ability, right? What set is this? This is Edge of Eternities, okay? The Edge of Eternities is the brand new Magic the Gathering set that's coming out. Edge of Eternities. And this is the face commander for it. Now, the secondary commander should also be known here, because it is very important that we know. Where is the secondary commander? Yeah, there we go. Zeril, Genesis Shepherd, and actually let me make sure that everyone can see it. We're fine. All right, Zariel, Genesis Shepherd is. Sorry, can you see it? You'll be fine. Yeah. Zariel Genesis Shepherd is 2 black, red, and green for a 2/5 legendary creature insect druid. They have flying, and you may play a lands from your graveyard. Okay, so land is in your graveyard. For your land per turn, you can play it from your graveyard instead of from your hands. As well, whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Zariel's power up to 1 other target creature, right? So you can't put it on Zariel, but you can put it on other creatures, right? So clearly, Zariel's game plan is to play lands from your graveyards, probably sacrifice those lands or whatever, but it's whatever, as long as you sacrifice a non-token permanent, you get to then put at least 2 +1/+1 counters on another creature, and if you somehow buff up Zariel's power, you get to put even more +1/+1 counters on someone else, right? So, that is the secondary commander for the set. You can clearly see how both of them work together, right? Like, they're both on screen right now, chat. You can clearly see that you pretty much want these both on the field at the same time. The Hearth Hall is all about sacrificing lands. Pay 2, sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards, and then put an extra land into play. You can, with Zariel out, play that land that you just sacrificed from your graveyard onto the battlefield as your additional land cost that turn. And you also sacrifice a land, non-token land, so you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on another creature, perhaps your commander, the main commander. Who knows. But yes, clearly this is Jund land sacrifice typal, and I think that's super cool because we don't necessarily get that, right? Usually Jund is all about just like sacrifice a creature, right? Sacrifice something or other and you get some sort of super positive, right? Now let's go over, let me zoom out a bit. Nope, zoom in a bit. My steez is whacked up. Don't know what happened there, but we're gonna fix that in there. Alright. So, let's take a look at the new cards in the deck, right? I'm going to go for the new cards first, and then we're going to go over kind of everything that's in it. So, Eumidian Wastewalker. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it, Ace Pride. Alright. Eumidian Wastewalker. 2 black for a 4/4 insect cleric. Whenever this creature attacks, you and defending player each discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. You draw a card for each land put into the graveyard this way, as well as having Encore, okay? So, Eumidian the Wastewalker, 4/4 insect, okay, awesome. Whenever this creature attacks, you and the defending player each discard a card or sacrifice a permanent, probably a land, considering who our commanders are. And you're probably going to do the sacrifice instead of discard, but if you discard a land, you can play it from the graveyard with the secondary commander. You draw a card for each land put into the graveyard this way. So, there you go, right? And it has Encore. Encore is, once this card is in the graveyard, you can pay 6 black, exile this card from your graveyard, right? So you exile the card and you get a token. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn if able. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Encore is a activated ability, not a cast, but an activated ability, so your opponents can't counter it. Obviously, it costs a lot of mana, right? It costs double the amount of mana that Eumidian Wastewalker normally is, but this is more of a late-game ability. So, this card is in your graveyard for whatever reason, you sacrifice it, it died, whatever. You get to pay 8 mana, and then you exile the original card, make 3 copies, 1 for each opponent, and those cards have to attack that opponent this turn if they're able to, right? And then at the beginning of the next end step, you sacrifice them. We've seen Encore before. It's not a brand new mechanic. I love seeing it again. I'm certainly going to use it in my Encore deck that I already have. But this is a card that certainly plays within the deck's mechanics, right? You're sacrificing / discarding lands, drawing cards from it, get those lands back with your commanders, etc. And then eventually this guy gets to come back from the graveyard too. Super cool. I like this card. Avendo Brush Razor. For 2 in a red, you get a 2/2 creature insect warrior. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, as long as you've sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play lands exiled with this creature. You can tap, sacrifice a land, and add red to your mana pool. So, hey, Ratman. So, this is pretty cool, right? This is red impulse draw, right? You sacrifice an artifact, a land, for a fetch land or whatever, exile your top card. And then during your turn, as long as this card exists and you've sacrificed a non-token permanent, you get to play those cards. This also gives you the ability to tap, sacrifice a land, and add red to your mana pool. So if you need, an additional land this turn, because you can tap, you can sacrifice a tapped land, right? You can tap the land, use it for something, and then tap this card, sacrifice it, get 2 red out of it, and now you get to exile another card. You have access to all the cards that you've exiled with it, and you gain an additional 2 red mana to do whatever you want to do. That's pretty cool. This card, obviously, again, goes very much with this deck. Pretty strong. Next is Horizon Explorer. You get for 2 and a green, you get a creature insect scout that is a 2/4 that says lands you control enter untapped. So, already pretty powerful. And whenever you attack a player, create a lander token. A lander token is new mechanic from the Edge of Eternities set. It says it is an artifact that has 2 and tap. Sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Right? So, pretty strong. This is whenever you attack a player, so not just with the Horizon Explorer, it's just whenever, in general, you attack with some creature to a player, right, not a planeswalker, but to a player, you get to create a lander token. And that token, untapped, you get to pay 2, tap and sacrifice it. You put a land into play tapped, but because Horizon Explorer is still in the battlefield probably, it says lands you control enter untapped. This is very good card for a Jund deck especially, because you have a bunch of lands that tap for multiple colors. Now they come to play untapped, and you just start doing all this wacky stuff immediately. So hype for the bug people, they're very strong. I like them a lot. I like that you can play any of these cards exiled with it. Yes, yeah, oh, for the other one, for the Avendo Brush Razor, yes. Yeah, for all of the cards, not just the one that you just exiled that turn. But yeah, Horizon Explorer, pretty strong. This is probably, you're going to play more lander cards from the set in this deck as well, and this works perfectly with them. Next, we have Scouring Swarm. 1 black and a green for a 1/1 insect that says flying, and whenever you sacrifice a land, more on that theme, create a tapped token that is a copy of this creature. If 7 or more lands are in your graveyard... Sorry. Let me restate that. For Scouring Swarm, for 1 black and a green, you get a 1/1 creature insect with flying. It says whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tap token that is a copy of this creature if 7 or more land cards are in your graveyard. Otherwise, so if you do have 7 or more... Sorry, if you don't have 7 or more creatures, you just make a tapped 1/1 black insect creature token with flying, right? So, sacrifice the lands just whenever you do that. Create a 1/1 insect. However, if you have 7 or more land cards in your graveyard, you actually make a copy of Scouring Swarm. I don't know why they said it like that. It is Scoot Swarm, right? It's literally just Scoot Swarm that flies and cool. It's red green, it's black green, so it's not just, only going in every single landfall deck. It is also a land sacrifice deck, right? You don't necessarily put this in landfall unless you're gonna, play a bunch of fetch lands, which sometimes you do. But I do like this as a Scoot Swarm with land sacrifice. I wish just the wording makes it hard to read, right? But yeah, so if you don't have 7 or more lands, you just make an insect, right? 7 more, yes. But if you do have 7 or more lands, you make another 1/1 flying creature. Okay. If 7 more lands, otherwise, yeah. I mean, what's the difference? I guess. What's the difference between a 1/1 black insect creature token of flying or just another one of these? Right? I guess you get a bunch of cards. You're right. You get a bunch of cards that then say, hey, did you sacrifice a land? Make a copy of me. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Flying Scoot Swarm. Very strong. We'll see if this, supersedes Scoot Swarm. I think Scoot Swarm will probably still go in this deck on top of, being, on top of having Scouring Swarm. But landfall decks will still have Scoot Swarm. Exponential growth. Yep. Then we have Zariel, the secondary commander. And Planetary Annihilation, brand new card, sorcery. For 3 red, sorcery, each player chooses 6 lands they control, then sacrifices the rest. Planetary Annihilation deals 6 damage to each creature. So, yeah, this is a mass land destruction card in a precon, but it does wait for you to have 6 lands on it, right? So, you're kind of resetting people's either, if someone accelerates you, that's pretty wild. But do note that this is choose 6 lands that you control, then sacrifice the rest. And your secondary commander doesn't say 1 or more lands, it just says whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent. If you look at your commander, whenever you sacrifice a lands, not 1 or more lands, but a land, that means that if you have 10 mana out, right, 10 lands out, which with lander and all this additional land play stuff you'll probably get out, you could have 10 mana out, 10 lands out, pay 5, sacrifice 4 lands, and that will be 4 triggers of your secondary commander and your main commander, right? That'll be 4 triggers because it is each land that's being sacrificed. That is pretty cool. And honestly, what I think will happen in commander decks, in a typical game, unless you're being real cerebral about it, you're probably going to ramp out lands pretty fast. So you're going to be at 10 while everyone else is at 6 anyway, or 7. So then when you cast this, it's not going to be too much of a deficit for your opponents because they were only at 7 anyway. You got to trigger your commander, though, 4 times, which is pretty cool. I like the new card, Anti-Cultural Visage for your Blink deck, Fatal. You should. It's a very, very good card. Very, very good card. So good that I did a video on it. You should check it out on socials. And then I think the last brand new card that is not a land, and personally one of my favorites, is Exploration Brood Ship. This is a brand new spacecraft. For 1 green, you get just a spacecraft, right? It doesn't have an ETB ability. It's just simply there. But once you use the station ability to add 3 charge counters for it, you may play an additional land on each of your turns, okay? So this is an artifact that starts off with doing nothing, but once you add charge counters for it, it is another card that just simply allows you to play additional lands per turn. Then, if you get 8 or more charge counters, it turns into a 4/4 with flying that says once during each of your turns, you may cast a permanent spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a land in addition to paying its other costs, right? So, again, a 1-drop, you put 3 charge counters on it by tapping 3 total power, you add an additional land, right? Cool. And then once you get 8 power, you have a 4/4 with flying that says once during each of your turns, you may cast a permanent spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a land. So you trigger your commander's abilities, both of them, sacrifice a land. You can tap that land, put mana to your mana pool, sacrifice it, that land goes to your graveyard, and then use that mana that you added to your pool to cast something from your graveyard. So it still ends up being pretty great, right? Like it all is cyclical here. How do you need for speed in here just for machine gun lands? I feel pretty good about it. And then you can cast a spell from your graveyard, which a permanent spell specifically. So that is to be of note. And then there's 3 new lands. 3 new lands that they've added to this deck. We have Eumidian Hatchery, which is a land that says you can tap it, pay 1 life, add black, put a hatchling counter on this land. And then, when this land is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, for each hatchling counter on it, create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying, right? So, for the entire game, you're just like tapping, paying 1 life, adding black, and a hatchling counter on it, right? It's just it's just a swamp for you, basically. It doesn't even come to play tapped. It's just a swamp for the longest time. Then, once you choose to sacrifice it to one of your myriad of sacrifice abilities, you get to put a 1/1 insect into the battlefield with flying. A 1/1 insect with flying for each hatchling counter that you've put on it through the entire game. I'd say that's pretty strong. I'd say that's just like a pretty nice thing. But what's more interesting is that they're starting to finish a cycle of cards that we did not have before. Festering Thicket is a bicycle land. Bicycle being that you can buy 2 and then cycle. It's a cycling land. It is a forest and a swamp. It enters the battlefield tapped, but it taps for a blue or taps for black or green, and you can pay 2 to cycle this card. So if you already have too many lands on the battlefield and you would rather draw a card instead, you can pay 2, discard this card, and cycle it, and this will still probably trigger other abilities that you have in your deck, and you'll probably just recast it anyway. But yes, bicycle land that did not exist before. It looks like they are trying to finish or at least add to a cycle. They only added the black-green version of it, although the red-green already existed. So, and then last brand new card is Vernal Fen. This is another land that is tutorable because it is both a swamp and a forest. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. These are the Tango lands. It could because it takes 2 to tango. So yes, they finally added the green-black Tango land, which is really nice. Give me a deck idea to build around? Well, I have one right here, actually. Brand new precon, Hearthhull the World Seed. The deck idea for this is to play Jund Land Sacrifice. I charge you, Ekia, to see if you can come up with a pretty good build for this card. Looking at the... Oh, sorry. And actually, I missed one last preview card. Brand new card. We have Baloth Prime, which is a 3 and a green 10/10 creature beast that says this creature enters tapped with 6 stun counters on it. Whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tapped 4/4 beast creature token and untap this creature. And then you can always pay 4 mana, sacrifice a land, and gain 2 life. So pay 4 mana, sacrifice a land, you gain 2 life from this thing and trigger all of your opponent's things. This card will still have a stun counter on it, right? So for 4 mana, you make a 10/10, but it's just chilling, right? It's just chilling because it's tapped. And slowly, every turn, you get to remove a tapped counter from it. But if you pay 4 and sacrifice a land, or sacrifice a land for any other ability, you make a tapped 4/4 beast, and you untap this creature. Now, this creature has 10 power. You can play the Hearthhull on turn 4, right? Or Baloth Prime on turn 4, whatever. And then next turn, play the other, sacrifice a land, say it's like a fetch land, or just anything, right? And you can then untap this 10/10 and then tap the 10/10 to completely crew the Hearth Hull. And now you just, like, your commander is just already online, right? I honestly don't think that putting the charge counters on this card is going to be very difficult, especially with cards like Baloth Prime. You know, like, this will just charge, this will just station up anything. So we're gonna basically operate under the idea that from, like, turn 5 forward, our commander is always going to be activated. Always. Yeah, Baloth Prime is the last brand new card. Pretty strong. So let's take a look at the actual deck. Untapping while it has any of those 6 sun counters will only remove a sun counter. Oh, that is so true. I actually did not realize that about sun counters. If a permanent with a sun counter would become untapped, remove one from it instead. My bad. Yeah, I actually thought that it was it's only on upkeep that they get removed. That's actually true. Sorry. We gotta remend that statement. Yeah, sun counters. If a permanent with a sun counter on it would become untapped, you only just remove the sun counter instead of actually untapping it. So yeah, never mind. It does not actually do this immediately, which is certainly more balanced. But you do make a 4/4 beast when you sacrifice a land and remove a sun counter, which just means that this, you know, unlocks even sooner, and you can still use that beast, you know, in later turns to crew your spacecraft. But that's true. Thank you very much for that, Wobbler. I forgot about that. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. If it would become untapped. Yeah, alrighty. Let's move on to the creatures in the deck that are getting reprinted. You have Aftermath Analyst. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. You can pay 4 to sacrifice the Aftermath Analyst and return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Pretty good, because we're going to be sacrificing a lot of lands. Augur of Autumn. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands from the top of your library. And if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. So if you are casting lands from the top and then you're like, oh, that's a creature, let me cast it, and then I can keep on going for lands. Braids Arisen Nightmare. This is a pretty good, pretty solid reprint right here. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who didn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. In this deck, you're going to be sacrificing lands. In this deck, you're going to be sacrificing lands at your end step, which, again, will trigger the myriad of abilities that are in your deck. And if your opponents don't want to go down on lands, you do, because you put extra lands into play. Your opponents don't want to. So they're going to lose 2 life, and you're going to draw a card. Very, very good reprint. Centaur Vine Lasher. 3 in a green for a 1/1 plant centaur with trample. When Centaur Vine Lasher enters the battlefield with it enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of lands in all graveyards. So you check your graveyard, your opponent's graveyards. For every amount of lands in there, you're going to add a +1/+1 counter to it. Whenever a land card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, so not just yours, but anyone's, you may pay green. If you do, return Centaur Vine Crasher from your graveyard to your hand. So if this creature dies at some point, you get to pay green when someone mills a land, or it gets destroyed from a sacrifice, or they sacrifice it with braids, whatever. You get to put this card back into your hand, so it just comes back even stronger, right? I need water. Ooh. Need some water in me. Deck looks really fun. I think it is very fun. I can't wait to upgrade it and build it. God Eternal Bantu. For 3 black, you get a 5/6 zombie god with menace, and when God Eternal Bantu enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. When God Eternal Bantu dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it 3rd from the top. So yeah, you can pay 5 ETBs, sacrifice 5 lands, the ones that you tapped at the very least, if you want, and then draw that many cards. That's 5 sacrifices, right? Because again, we talked about our commander, both our commanders. It doesn't matter. It doesn't say sacrifice 1 or more lands triggers your commander's abilities. It's just whenever a land is sacrificed. So late game, you get pay 5 with Bantu and sacrifice every land you control in order to deal 2 damage for each land to each opponent. A pretty good game ender, to be honest. Groundskeeper, a 1/1 for green that says pay 2, return target basic land from your graveyard to your hand, and we get additional land plays from our deck, so that's pretty cool. Jury, Master of the Review, whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on her. When she dies, deal damage equal to its power to any target. And this is a full-on commander in its own right. Korvold, Fakehurst King, a very, very powerful reprint that I believe hasn't been reprinted since it first came out in original Drain. 2 black, red, green for a 4/4 Dragon Noble with flying, and whenever Korvold enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Could be a land, could trigger your commanders. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, so this is from the rest of your deck, you're sacrificing lands all the time. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. So Korvold in this deck gets hypercharged so very much. Very, very good push for Korvold. Loam Crafter Fawn, 3 mana, 3/3. When the ETBs, you may discard 1 or more land cards. When you do, return up to that many non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hands. Cool. Mayhem Devil. Of course, it's going to find its way in here. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, whether so it's either you or any of your opponents when you force them to do that, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. So imagine this Mayhem Devil with the mass land destruction card that this comes with. Everyone picks 6 and then sacrifices the rest. You will get to deal 1 damage to any target equal to all the ones that you sacrifice and for each opponent's sacrifice. Mazrek, Cruel Death Priest, a 5 mana 2/2 insect shaman that has flying, and whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Oh my god, that's going to get super strong because this deck doesn't really sacrifice creatures, it's sacrificing lands. So your board state is going to be big and powerful and become that much bigger and that much more powerful. Deck idea, it's your personal fave. 4-color Kenrith return. 4-color Kenrith return Green Group Hug self-mill deck. 5-color, okay. That sounds like a deck that your friends would probably enjoy because it's Group Hug, and then not really notice that you're killing them anyway because you're self-milling. I think it's a deck that will go under the radar for sure. Murag, Fury of a Comb. 4 red for a 6/6 Minotaur Warrior. Each creature you control gets +1/0 for each time it attacks this turn. And, most importantly, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. So you play Murag, right? You go to combat, you swing. Main phase 2, play a land. Get in the cast spells, whatever. Get an additional combat after this turn, right? And then untap all creatures, additional combat set phase after this one. I guess you do want to do it, during your main phase 1, right? So you can keep on doing additional combat steps. Because after that additional combat step, it's just going to go to end step if you do it in main phase 2. So you want to do this in main phase 1. Yeah. In main phase 1, do landfall stuff, additional combats. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. So you still get to keep on doing that. I'm always kill the Group Hug deck first. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, that is certainly the law in the Kurotsuki community. I hate Group Hug. You got your own Kenrith deck that you've been working on since it came out. Ooh, nice. Is that the theme that you were talking about? Multani, Yapameyer's Avatar. 4 green is 0/0 with Reach Trample. Multani gets +1/+1 for each land you control and each land card in your graveyard. So basically, it's just always a big ol' ++ with Reach and Trample. And then you can pay 1 in the green to return 2 lands from 2 lands you control to their owner's hand to return Multani from your graveyard to the battlefield if it ever dies for whatever reason. Omnath, Locust of Rage. Big mana, 5/5, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, which this deck kind of does that. Make a 5/5 elemental that says, Omnath further says, whenever Omnath, Locust of Rage, or another elemental you control dies, Omnath deals 3 damage to any target. So that's very strong removal. Oracle of Moldiah, 4 mana, 2/2, play with the top Play an additional land on each of your turns. You play with the top land of your deck revealed, and you may play lands from the top of your library. So very, very strong card, just in general. Bro, why am I being targeted? I'm giving you draw. Exactly. That's the exact excuse. That's the exact excuse that I will remove you for. I'll take you out. I'm sorry. I don't want land. I don't want draw. I want to draw cards because I put good draw in my deck, not because someone forced it upon me. Forced it upon me. Sorry, I just gotta go through some stuff because hold on really fast. I ran out of space on my computer apparently. Saw this flashing. Thank you very much for coming by, but he redeemed RGB. The group hug player is saying I need time to find my combo or build pillow fort, so I will bribe you to keep you from killing me before then. That sounds political. Anyway, yeah, and I you know what? I don't believe him. I don't believe those players. I don't believe those players at all. I take those players out. Sorry, I just gotta... Guardian. Titus Unites Guardian deck. I mean, it's fine. I'll just get over it. How about Marseal the Destroyer? Super fun and complex late game with CVS receipt of abilities. Marseal the Destroyer. That's that Grixis dude that does Destroyer though? High dollar, make him add Phalanx. Yeah, I think Phalanx might be in this deck. It might not be though. I don't even know what RGB is. It just changed the lights behind me. I had the green screen on, so you just didn't see it. Good evening, Majra. Alright, let me keep on going through this deck. Sorry. Rampaging Baloths, Landfall. This deck is partially a Landfall deck, only because, like, you know, not because you're doing it for the sake of Landfall, but you do play additional lands for stuff. You get lands back from your graveyard. Just note that, like, the deck is still very much about, like, having enough of lands to sacrifice, therefore that kind of like implies that you will put more lands into play. But personally, I would hope that people really hone in on the like sacrifice lands for value sort of mechanic thing, just to make this a little mechanically different from your typical landfall type of deck, you know, just at least a little different. But Rampaging Baloth is a 6-mana 6/6 with trample that says whenever a land comes into play, you make a 4/4 beast. I mean, we can't really beat that, you know. Can be mad about it all I want, but it's just good. Satyr Wayfinder, ETB. Reveal the top 4 cards, put a land from among them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. I don't think that this deck is necessarily a self-mill deck, per se. So I think we can take out Satyr Wayfinder. Yeah, we get to like find a more specific land, but I just don't think that this deck is really about self-mill. Even though they're in, so, you know, like, we can put lands into our graveyard or sacrifice them or whatever, but we're not trying to fill up our graveyard just for the sake of it. Soul of Windgrace, 1 black, red, green for a 5/4 cat avatar. Whenever Soul of Windgrace enters the battlefield or attacks, you may put a land from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. You can pay a green to discard a land card, gain 3 life. Pay 1 in red, discard a land card, draw a card. And then pay 2 in a black to discard a land card, and Windgrace gains indestructible until end of turn. And you tap him. So you can go to block with him, and then pay 3 mana to give him indestructible and discard the land. But, you know. Scape Shift. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can Scape Shift. Baloth and Baby Station are commander. Yes. I love playing the red-black group slug precon from Duskmourn. Yes, with Valgavoth is a very good one. Very good for group slug. It keeps the clock on the game. It will end in short order. it'd find a way to run Grand's Hourglass Pendant for big land sack turns. I think that's very true, Thought Tracker. It's Jund. The Yard is our second hand. It is our second hand, right? But this is very much more specifically, like, at least the cards in the deck, and certainly the themes of the commander. It's all about sacrificing life. So while, yeah, in general, this is Jund, aka, like, you know, spicy Golgari, there's going to be a lot of cards in our graveyard. It's mainly there because we sacrificed them, not because we self-milled them. You know? Springbloom Druid. Pay 3 for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land, but if you do, you search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. Sounds like a good idea in the deck. Yep. Traverse Outlands. Nekusar is your man since day 5 of your commander. Yeah. That's a good one. Sprouting Goblin. For 1 in the red, you get Kicker, so you can pay an additional green. So for 3 mana, you can have Sprouting Goblin enter the battlefield. If it was kicked, search your library for land with a basic land type, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. And then you can, of course, always pay reds, tap it, sacrifice it to draw a card, which, you know. The Gitrog monster. 5 mana, 6/6 with Death Touch. At the beginning of my end step, sacrifice the Gitrog unless you sacrifice a land card. You may play a land and an additional land for each of your turns. That's cool. And then whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, whether you milled them, whether you discarded them, whether you sacrificed them, you draw a card, right? So this is a really good card. The Gitrog is really, really, really strong in your deck. Like, for real. I don't think this card leaves. Also, the art's really cool. Tireless Tracker, 3 mana, 3/2. Whenever you play a land, you investigate, which, yeah, there you go. Play a land, investigate. Perfect. Alrighty. And then also, when you sacrifice the clue, she becomes indestructible. Or, you know, +1/+1 counter. Titania, Protector of Argoth. 3 green for a 5/3. When Titania, Protector of Argoth, enters the battlefield, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so cards that are in our graveyard that we milled or sacrificed, we bring back from the graveyard to the land. It's okay. We got the use out of it for our commanders. Whenever a land you control is put into a graveyard from anywhere, usually our commanders, we create a 5/3 elemental creature token, right? So we do our land shenanigans in the background. We're discarding lands for blah, blah, blah. And then now look at us. We're the best. You gotta run Dakamer Salvage if the Gitrog fixed in. Yeah, I think so. Throwing in some good landfall value makes sense, but I agree that we aren't really trying to mill ourselves. I'm glad you agree, Jinx. We have Urg, Spawn of Thurg. This is a frog beast. For black, green, we get a star 5, and whenever Urg, Spawn of Thurg's power is equal to the number of lands in our graveyards, right? At the beginning of your combat, look at the top card of your graveyard. We can pay 2 to sacrifice. Not bad. It's fine. It does trigger our commanders, like, all the time. And the World Breaker. Oh, boy. And Eldrazi in this deck kind of messed up. For 6 and a green, you get a 5/7, which is pretty good. Devoid, which means even though you tap green for this card, it is treated as if it is a colorless card. Let's see. The World Breaker, when you cast a spell, for each opponent, basically, right? So whenever you cast a spell, exile target artifact or land, right? So you can remove a land that they control. They don't sacrifice it. You just exile it, which, you know, it's a pretty distinct distinction. Distinction. Artifact, creature, or land. So you still gotta get hit with creatures. Yeah, that's pretty cool. On to the sorceries. We have Blasphemous Act, deal 13 damage to each opponent's creature, for each creature on the board. Yep. Cultivate. But yeah, Blasphemous Act. Yeah, 13 damage to each creature. Could cost you as little as a red mana. Or you could have more land tutors for Saga. True. Cultivate lets you put a land into play, tapped, and then add a land to your hand for things. Farseek is the same way as Cultivate in a lot of ways. You get to pay 2 mana, add a land card from your battlefield to your hand, and then you can just go ham with that right there. Formless Genesis. For 2 and a green, you get a Kindred Sorcery. Sorcery. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello? Let me redo that. I apologize for that, chat. Let me redo that. Okay. Formless Genesis for 2 and a green. It's a Kindred Sorcery, which is doesn't matter in this deck tech at all, but it has Changeling. So it's all creature types? It's all creature types. Create a colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling and Death Touch for X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. And it has Retrace, which means you can cast this from your graveyard by discarding a land, which will trigger other abilities that you have. You gotta discard a land to be able to recast this, and then you get a big ol' boy. That's a Windmill Slam for Disa? Yes. Gaze of Granite, that's your board wipe. That's your main board wipe for this set. So for 3 mana and X, you get to destroy each non-land permanent, so artifacts, creatures, sorcery, artifacts, creatures, planeswalkers, etc., that are X or less cost. And since we're packing so much mana into this, it's going to be a big one. Those gaze are granite. True! Nature's Lore, search for a forest card, put into play tapped. You can search for those new cards that tap for both a forest and a swamp. Night's Whisper, you draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Pest Infestation, destroy X creatures, make some pests, which is whatever. Sky Shroud Claim, get forest, pretty good. Splendid Reclamation, return all cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, right? So, for Splendid Reclamation, we go to our graveyards, and then we just take every single land and put it back to battlefield tapped. And we have multiple cards that say, oh, our lands don't tap. And we have a couple cards to say that. The gaze are granite. This deck seems to have pretty good removal. I would agree. World Soul's Rage deals X damage to any target, where X is put up to X land cards from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield. Whoa, that's like really strong, actually. That's pretty good. We get to like just spend all of our mana to charge it up. Maybe we sacrifice them for whatever reason, and then we just fire the World Soul's Rage. Yeah, and then we just bring a bunch of lands back. Pretty good. Speaking of low-hanging fruit puns, the space set would be a great set for Otherworldly Gaze reprint. True. It's true. The kind that we do, exactly. We got Beast Within. Destroy a permanent, so including lands, destroy a permanent. Make a 3/3. Harrow to get more lands. Let's see, Putrefy, destroy target artifact or creature. We can't be conned. Roiling Earth, sacrifice a lands. We love doing that. Search your library for 2 basic lands and put them into play. It's going to be a completely different deck. Rakdos Charm, we can either exile all cards from target player's library, destroy target artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. And I think this is one of the first cards we personally take out. But I don't know. I'm biased. We don't want to just fully like eliminate our graveyards because we get so much benefit from it. Terra Sunder, let's just say 4 mana to destroy an equipment. 2 to be told lies. And then Windgrace's Judgment. For each number of opponents, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. Sheesh! This deck is pure hater. Yeah, Windgrace's Judgment. 5 mana. Just destroy. Destroy everything in your way. I got too many good members of killing token players was charm to over. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is your mana ramp package, just the master. I mean, Hammer, Furfrost, and Arcane Signet are pretty similar. Mm-hmm. Yep, I like it. Binding of the Old Gods, a pretty good enchantment. Was not expected to see this again. Binding of the Old Gods allows you to, once you go to Chapter 1, destroy target non-land, non-creature permanent and opponent controls. So, yeah, don't let them cast that, because then they just killed the commander. Got too many good memories. Hey champ, how you? Hey West Coast, good to see you, bud. Thank you very much for the heart gifts. I appreciate it. Nah, you're not your ramp package, just the ramp package and everything else. Yeah. True. Yeah, very true. And then Binding of the Gods just has like a petering ability as it gets late game, but really it's the fact that you fought. The lands we control, we don't need to go over too many of them. We have Canyon Slow for cycling, Bajuka Bog for wiping them out into just being like regular speakers, I guess. Just got back from the shop. Went to grab a deli sandwich with all the veggie trimmings for dinner. Hell yeah. Deck More Salvage is already present in the deck, by the way. Someone in chat was mentioning that earlier. It's already present in the set. Evolving Wilds is pretty good for triggering that Void ability. Let's see. Iridescent Vault. Terramorphic Expanse. You think that this might be an Eldrazi's arm, but it's actually a spinning thicket. Yeah, lots of you loving printing infinites and precons these days. What infinites are in this one so far, Armin? There's a lot of good combos, don't get me wrong. They take some setting up, at least three cards, and typically you need to discard lands in order to make it happen. Gitrog and Duskmancer? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's like fine. What's the biggest power and toughness of creatures in this deck? 5? I sit on 6, so well 5, yeah. This is then that's it, right? That's the entire deck there. It ends with the lands. The tokens we get are beasts, clues, elementals, golems, shapeshifters, and pets. This is a really solid deck. This is a very solid pre-con deck. I do look forward to playing it. I wonder how much we're going to upgrade it, chat. And you know what? We might as well upgrade it right here and now. So one thing that you can do on Moxfield, you go to more and you just hit duplicate. Duplicate. So we're gonna take World Shaper, Edge of Eternities, Commander, Precon deck list, duplicate it from Wizards of the Coast. Alrighty, here we go. Look at that. Look at that. It's just super done it. All right. I think you slipped and hit export. No, duplicate's the right call. Duplicate's the right call. Yeah, so this is the deck. We can take some cards out and add some cards in. I'm looking forward to that new board wipe, I think, in the site you were showing. That new board life. Wait, what? Check out Traverse the Outlands. I think Traverse the Outlands is very good. Traverse the Outlands. Yeah, Traverse the Outlands is... Where'd you go? Traverse the Outlands. Right, Traverse the Outlands. It's a 5 mana spell. Search your library. It's up to X basic lands where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Put those cards into the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Okay, we just better hopefully have the lowest cover up. or not the Lotus Cobra, the well, yeah, actually, yeah, we do want Lotus Cobra because they do come into play and they do trigger the yes, because he makes lands come to play untapped, so that would be pretty good with anthems. Harrowing. As additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a land. You may search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped, right? So you can, you know, you have someone else playing. You can tap that mana to, I don't know, type in something to the internet, whatever it is, and then the person that you gave the Harrow to was able to then use the bones of Harrow, or you know, use what the other player would have done for their own gains, which is pretty cool. You know, Harrow is just really strong. Infernal Grasp, kill spell, lose 2, that's fine. Putrefy, you know, these are all just like fine. But in terms of cards that I think we take out, Jund is so back, baby. Baby, we never left. Baby, we never left. We never left. We automatically added a card. We need to take some out. Actually, before we start really diving in on what to take out of the deck, I mean, I put in, you know, something immediately, but right before we take time to take out cards, let's just remember what our commander does, right? I know it's on the screen for you. So we'll look at both the secondary commander and the main commander, right? So the main commander, pay 4 mana, 4 mana, you get this card out. Pay 1 mana, sacrifice it, sacrifice a land, draw 2, you may play an additional lands, right? So that card is all about drawing lands. And then, how do you win? Because you don't just like typically win from doing nothing. You have the Hall, the Hearth Hall, where you will trigger sacrifice on your opponents, 2 life for each for each land's sacrificed. So if you sacrifice 3 lands to Zariel's ability, that's, I mean, yeah, that's like pretty backbreaking. Not legal in this deck, is not revealed yet. Yeah, Gitrog stays, Titania stays. This Erlurg is kind of strong, to be honest. All right, I'm gonna be right back with the Alt Commander. If anyone wants some real hater stuff, Strip Mine plus Azusa lets you blow up each commander's land. Yeah, which, I mean, that is true. Cards to take out. Formation Genesis. I actually put the card back in. Question mark? Traverse the Outlands. We keep. Yeah. We just remove Formless Grounds. Yep. What's the Alt Commander? The Alt Commander is this card right here. 5 mana, 2/5 with flying. You may play lands from your graveyard. You can put +1/+1 counters equal to Zariel's power onto one of those creatures. No names, nothing. Alright, Sprouting Goblin, I think you can get rid of that. Cultivate, Gaze, Nature's Lore. Okay, we have like the 3 biggest artifact lands out there. Artifacts have, yeah. This is Sophie, or Splendid Reclamation, getting cards from your graveyard, right? So you can mill or lose or whatever, sacrifice a bunch of cards, a bunch of land cards, then you bring them back. Traverse the Outland. Search your library for X basic land cards where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Those players come into the battlefield, tap by Abby. Yeah. So just stock up on all these triggers. Traverse Outlaw puts a lot of lands into play. Like a lot. Can't wait to see what the white land from this set, new sets are gonna be like. Oh, the white borderlands. I'll have a conniption. I hate them. I hate white borderlands. Let's see. What do we not want? Do we not want Binding of the Old Gods? It's a little random. We search our library for a forest card, but we tutor and get something once, and then just kind of like don't again, I guess. Not the whiteboard I'm talking about, like the half island lands. Oh, yeah. You know. They're alright, I'm sure. I can't wait to see. Yeah. If they come up with something new, I'll be truly shocked. Let's see. Alright, I copied it to my own personal collection so chat can see it there. I'm going to run to the bathroom really fast. I probably got to get a snack. I just need to kind of re-energize for a quick second. But yeah, Braids of Staff. You had Braids of Staff? Yeah. Mazarek is gonna get super big. I think Mazarek is like the second. Well, it's the tertiary secret commander of just like, hey, you guys sacrifice stuff. Rawr, I'm gonna just murder everything. So I think Bantu is the GOAT here. The OG throwback to OG duels. Yeah, you can play Edge of Eternities out. No, the set is not out yet. The preview panel for like the commander video that's going to reveal this deck is revealing tomorrow. I thought it was today, but it was tomorrow. Yeah, Sailor Wayfinder. Take that out. Okay, alrighty. Sacrifice creatures, do stuff. I need to take the quickest of breaks before we dive on into this part. We're gonna do a deep dive on the vehicle one tomorrow when that gets revealed because woo-wee, does that one need some help? How many lands is this? 30... 30... Oh, sorry, 42. That is, you know, that's actually pretty fine for a... Yeah, I'm trying to think that like 42 is what we want, or do we want to just go with like a little less is more important here? But yeah, you can play them on like simulators and stuff, but you can't play Edge of Eternities, so you shouldn't even have received probably from it yet. I'm gonna take out some cards, and then we're gonna upgrade it, chat. We're gonna upgrade this deck and see what we can get there. But first, I need to be right back. And then we'll dive right on in. Okay. Yeah, no one's, everyone, this is like a brand new deck for everyone. I really like World Souls Rage. I think this is going to be really good, value. Should we do self-mill? No, probably not, right? Like, not really. Like, I don't think we want to do self-mill. We're going to tutor up lands. We're going to put them into the battlefield. We'll sacrifice them to get them to the graveyard. We'll have, like, some incidental landfall here and there, but yeah, it's not about, like, self-mill at all. Yeah, say the Wayfinders were taken out. Aftermath and Analysts might be cool to bring Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Omnath, Otani. God, these are just kind of really good cards. Now that I think about it, like they're good. They're just kind of like legitimately good and doing the thing. I just wonder how much room there is for improvement. Um, I don't think we need Tireless Tracker because we're so powerfully aggressive. I feel like a Tireless Tracker would just make food and then just not really do anything with it. Gitrog Monster is really cool. Let me play the other art of them. See. Mm-hmm. And then Titania says whenever land you control, so you do have to own it, right? Like, or yeah, it's not a land that you own, but a land that you control, so it does have to have hit the graveyard. It's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, make a 5/3 green elemental creature. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's it. Tireless Provisioner would be way better and thicker. Yeah, because we get treasures or we get like other things, but yeah, I'd say they're probably a little overrated, at least in this deck specifically. All right, chat. I'll be right back. I just gotta get something to nibble on so I can kind of hit that second wind already. Hit that second win. I gotta figure out what to take out from this deck. Normally when I'm doing deck builds, I like to like physically have the cards in front of me so then I can kind of like parse through, but don't have that this time. All right, chat. I'll be right back. All right, give me a quick second. Gotta get some more water. Okay, professional streamer Kuro Hitsuki's back. Oh. Professional streamer Kuro Hitsuki is back. I am now hitting that second wind. Can we play with Edge on Arena? No. Not yet. Edge's Eternities is not out yet. It will be out in 3 weeks. This week, we're at, this is Wednesday? 3 weeks? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And then you blink. No edging for a couple of weeks yet. True. We gotta wait on our edging. Alright. So chat. This is gonna be a different type of deck list because we don't normally have Hermit Gamer. Hello. We don't normally have like. Well, is this the first time I've done a deck upgrade? Oh my god, I think it is. Is your name based on Black Butler? It is not. That would be Kuro Hitsuji, which is very close. It's like every other letter other than like the J or G, I guess. G? J? J. But no, it is a created name. I did have to get my following to a certain size on Instagram before I was able to have this name. Like, just by itself, without any, like, signifiers at the end of it, because it's just, they're like, what? Anyway, alright, so, yeah, I don't think we've actually done, like, a full-on, shrimps is bugs by association, lobster is bugs, we're brewing the lobster. We're not brewing the lobster. Hi, Misha Migo, oh my god, hi, literally one of my favorite people ever. Wait, Mish, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? Can lobsters fry rice? They can. Okay, watching me, do you want to join? Easily. Alright, what have I taken out so far? I took out the 2 landfall cards, the land mill cards I didn't like. Sure? Jump in the Discord. Jump in the Discord. Hey, Strange! Oh my god, Strange, Strange also has a buttery, smooth voice. Strange, what you up to? Strange, what the fuck are you up to right now, Brother Bear? I need to know what the Strange is up to. Stat! If there's a chance I can hear him in my ears. Where's Lumeral? Oh! So, okay, well, I personally, chat, because chat, you know me, right? Or for those of you who, know me, you know me. I want to make sure that this deck is more than just another, your typical landfall deck that we've kind of had in the past, for the past while. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, landfall decks just don't feel very different. Because we see a lot of the same staples, right? We see Lumra, we see, well, I mean, god dang, I've seen Aftermath Analyst in every single land deck, ever, right? And it's just like, not every single deck needs an Aftermath Analyst, right? Not every single deck needs to mill lands, not every single deck needs to have mass lands come back, right? So, just got here. I know you just got here. Can I hear your buttery smooth voice help me talk about this commander deck? I'm in the waiting lobby since I don't know. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Hell yeah, Mish. Hell yeah, Mish. Hell yeah, Mish. Mish!
Hey!
Hi, Mish. Alrighty.
How are you?
Good. I'm gonna see if I can share my screen with you.
I get to have you on 2 screens? Oh my gosh.
Oh, you definitely
Blessed.
need to. There we go. Alright. See, okay. Alright, cool. You can see my screen. And, alright. Are starship creatures, or do you need to create them like vehicles? So, yeah, so, Mish, welcome. because I had to
Thank
have you
you.
on. As soon as I heard your voice, I was just like, or as soon as I saw you here, I gotta have you. Although it looks like that is actually, I might not be able to do that. Hold on. I might have done slight overloading. No.
Oh no.
Okay. That might have been slight. That was one stream too many for my computer. Okay,
I
you'll
can
be
just be like slightly
slightly
delayed
delayed. You'll be
watching,
slightly delayed. It'll be fine. So
just like real life.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Misha. Yeah, I was like, I hug and kiss Misha, and then she's like, "Oh my God, Kuro!" Like 10 minutes later. Alrighty, so Misha Migo, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for an impromptu. I want to hear Misha's voice today. This is the Jund Commander deck that just released today, and we're gonna do a little bit of an upgrade on it. So we already went through every new card, one of these new cards, and this is to answer someone in chat about how spacecraft work. So the commander of this deck is Hearthhole the World Seed. 1 black, red, green for just an artifact, right? It is just there on the battlefield when you cast it. However, at sorcery speed, 1 creature at a time, you can tap a creature to add charge counters equal to its power to Hearthhole the World Seed. Now, once you have 2 or more charge counters, it turns into an artifact that now has this ability: pay 1, tap, and sacrifice a land. You get to draw 2 cards, and you may play an additional land this turn. Then, once you get 8 or more charge counters on it, right? So just tapping more creatures for power and all that stuff, or proliferate, however you get the counters. This turns into a 6/7 that still retains the ability when it was at the 2, as well as gets flying, vigilance, and haste, and says whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. Station is convoke as an additional cost instead of an alternate cost. I think that's like 2 to 3 degrees away from like kind of what it is. Yeah.
Because you can convoke technically at instant speed depending on the spell, and this is specifically sorcery speed.
Yes, yes. So unlike vehicles, right? Unlike vehicles, let me look at a vehicle.
It takes time to dock on the station, you know.
Exactly. It takes time to dock. That's what I'm always saying. I'm always saying this.
Are you always saying that, Kuro?
I mean, like, you know. So looking at my Shurikai deck, which is a vehicle deck, Crew, as you can see here, is tap any number of creatures you control with total power 8 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So with the rules of Crew, right, you need to tap up to, for Shurikai's instance, you need to tap 8 total powers of creatures all at once, right? It's not 1 at a time, like, okay, I'll do like, I'll add 3 power here, then I'll go to combat, attack you, okay, now I'll add like 6 power here, blah, blah, blah. You are looking to Crew for a total of 8, so you need to put 8 or more power into it. But the thing is, you can go above the 8, you can do it at instant speed, you can, do all the creatures at once versus like having to do it, you know, specifically 1 at a time, etc. Right? So Crew is like the best of the abilities, and they're like, okay, Crew, we can't do just Crew again. We want Station to be what we do instead. So with Station, 1 at a time, because it's at sorcery speed, you simply add that creature's power as charge counters. And then if you want to keep it going, you tap another creature, wait for responses, add those charge counters, blah, 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 blah. And then, once you're at 8 or more, at least in this case, you become a creature that has all of these abilities. This card is nice because even before it's a creature, it actually is like an artifact that has an activated ability that you can keep on using.
I will say, though, for this, what's nice about it, opposed to crewing is something you have to continuously do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just goes back to being an artifact. This, once you've docked or you've stationed and all of your stuff is added, since those are counters, those don't just fall off. So if you go above, most cases that's not going to do much unless how would you remove the counters on this? I don't know if you can. Can you?
If there are cards in the set that remove counters, because they are charge counters, right? So if something says just like remove all counters from a permanent, then the crew is off. We have to see if from the rest of the set. Oh, bouncing it, right?
Any kind of flicker effect would also reset it.
Yep. And anything that makes this card move from the battlefield would make it fall off, like make all the charge counters fall off, because they don't just stay there, right? Stuff like Solemnity breaks it too, right? There are counters to putting counters on something, but in terms of like just from the set itself, we have yet to see anything, even any of the mechanics that remove counters from something. So that might just not be a part of the set. We don't know.
Yeah, it's only docking, no undocking.
Yeah, no undocking, no undocking. Like come on, how's this set about spacecraft gonna be like? Oh yeah, like you killed the crew or something. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
only enter, no leave.
Exactly. So, we went through this deck list. We looked at all the new cards here. They're cool. But we went through them already. Whatever deck upgrade we're going to do, we're going to keep these new cards. Because I think all of the new cards that are specifically built for this deck should stay in here. But I
completely agree.
Yeah. But I think that there's at least, like, we'll say, like, 5 upgrades. We'll try to go for 5 upgrades where we're just like, hey, to upgrade this deck, like, for cards that already exist, you need to add these to your deck. Okay? So, I took out 2 cards already. I took out Satyr Wayfinder because this card is more of a like land mill card, right? Like ETB, look at the top 4, put a land to your hand, the rest into your graveyard. This deck is not a mill deck. It is a sacrifice lands deck more than anything.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily care about stuff going into the graveyard. It cares about you putting it purposefully in there from the battlefield.
From sacrifice, more specifically. Yep. Great explanation. Thank you, dude. And then Sprouting Goblin. This is just like a kicker card that lets you look for a basic land, put into your hand. I don't give a fuck about that. Although it does say pay red, sacrifice a land, draw a card. Shit, I guess that's good. Shit, I guess that's good. Back to the main board with you. Damn it, that card's actually kind of good.
I guess you have a place, little guy.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I'm trying to, like, I guess before we take cards out, other than to say the Wayfinder, is there any card that you can think of in the great history of Magic where it's just like, yeah, this is a land sacrifice card that should totally go in this deck?
Well, I think when you scrolled down, I already saw that the Windgrace. I was like, Jun commander that cares about, land sacrifice. Like, Lord Windgrace just came to mind, and I think he's already in here, so.
Yes, correct. Yeah, they have Windgrace, the Soul of Windgrace, but they don't have the Planeswalker. And that could easily be something that we should say is added, for sure.
Get Rock Monster. Okay, cool. Yep. The next one I was thinking was like Get Rock Monster. When I'm thinking land sacrifice deck, that's just, the 2-color version.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the 2-color version. But this is the Planeswalker, Lord Windgrace, right here. I just really can just type it right here. So Lord Windgrace, I think the Planeswalkers go to the top. Yes. Lord Windgrace was the original Jund land sacrifice commander back in 2018. Jesus. What's up, West Coast? So Misha, can you read Lord Windgrace for us?
Yeah, he says for his +2, discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card is discarded this way, draw an additional card. -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And -11, destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents, then create 6 2/2 green cat warrior creature tokens with Forest Walk. So he's his -3 ability is kind of nice because it can pull the land cards out of the graveyard to back to
Mm-hmm.
the battlefield, but he doesn't synergize as well in the sacrifice. So he's a good recursion, but there may be better recursion that aren't 3 colors and, 5 mana total.
Oh, very, very, very good point, Mish. Yes. This normally one would immediately think that, yeah, well, Lord Vangasoli goes in here. But he says, like, discard a card, draw a card. If it was a land, draw an additional. Like, this deck specifically is caring about sacrificing lands, not just lands going to the graveyard all willy-nilly. The -3 is good, because you do get to bring 2 lands back from your graveyard to the battlefield, but that's kind of like it. And if we're just paying 5 mana just for this guy to -3, I think that we can find better cards. So, very, very good call, Mish. I agree. We'll just not put that one in there. All right. All
I
right.
do like my sexy Catman, but sorry, Lord
We
Windgrace, this
do.
version.
Listen, we stand a character that specifically calls out Urza for being a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Can you ask for something soon? Because that gives away in the channel. Yeah, West Coast. DM me if you can DM me on Discord, because I believe you're in the Discord. Please DM me that, and then that's something that I should be able to remember. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What else would we want? Anything else that we can think of then instead of Lord Windgrace? Let's see, because we did have, yeah, Soul of Windgrace is in here. Gitrog Monster is in here.
Well, I see Aftermath Analyst, and that sacrifice ability brings basically all your lands back because I remember that being
Mhm.
one of the standard combo decks. What other, I guess, graveyard recursion do we have? Because we don't want to, if we're going to be sacking so many lands, we want to be able to pull them back, sack them again.
Yeah, so we have basically, like, if we're able to play lands from the graveyard, right? Because our own commander says we can play additional lands this turn. So I think that the easiest way to make sure that our lands just keep on being recycled is by just playing that land that we just sacrificed.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Is this EDH right? No, this is Moxfield.com. Moxfield.com is our preferred deck building website. If you're on TikTok, if you turn the phone sideways, you'll get a better view of it. But Moxfield.com already has the precon, the full deck list of the precon on its website already. So that is what you should look it up on. Yeah, that's fine, West Coast. You can just mess me on TikTok. So what did I say? I said fucking. Oh yeah, lands from the graveyard. So Ramanap Excavator, I think would kind of be more called for than not. Ramanap Excavator is 2 and a green for a 2/3 snake cleric that says you may play lands from your graveyard, just straight up, right?
That seems like a pretty good little snake guy.
Yeah, pretty good little snake, because, like, especially, listen, he's already a 2/3, right? Like, he's a 2/3, and because our commander, like, the main card of our deck is our commander, and it's a 4 mana artifact. People probably won't be able to remove it very easily, and if they do, I mean, we have enough lands, we'll get it back. But 2 charge counters on it is pretty straightforward, right? Like, that's easy enough to do. We could do this every single turn of pay 1, tap, sack a land, draw 2, and then if we have something that allows us to play lands from graveyard, we can just play that very same land again. So we never actually leave lands in our graveyard. I think.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that guy's perfect. I was gonna say he's perfect because if you play him on 3, you
Mm-hmm.
can hopefully, if you have all the right colors, you can play your commander on 4,
Mm-hmm.
tap him to station. Now you're at 2 already, and then you can immediately pay the one. Well, if you have a land from the graveyard that you can play, now that you've stationed it, and it's untapped, you can now pay the one, or maybe not, because you'd have to pay the one first. But it's a good synergy there because it's enough to station and unlock that ability
Mm-hmm.
and start getting that kind of synergy flowing.
Yeah, because you can use the land to tap, and then use that very same land to sacrifice too to the ability, and then just you replay it with Ramanap Excavator. Yeah, I like that idea a lot, and I think in terms of, like, the commander and what makes the commander kind of, like, unique amongst cards that are trying to make you manipulate lands, we're not just doing self-mill. And we're not just trying to use some ability that puts every land from our graveyard back in. I think we're just trying to recycle the same land over and over again.
Do we want to talk about the land base then? Because obviously lands that sacrifice themselves, like, you're going to want a lot of those.
Yeah, and there's 42 lands in here, and I think that there's a possibility that we go lower than that.
Oh, okay. I'm already seeing some. These ones from SNC, like the Cabaret Courtyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Riveteers, like, those are ETB sacrifice outlets, so that's perfect.
Right.
If you wanted to go the more expensive route, you've got your shocks. Like, there are so many sack lands that synergize with this, that just tutor out more lands, and then you're playing extra lands. Like, it makes sense why there's 42.
Yeah. Damn, Fabled Passages in this bitch? That's crazy! Wow, that hasn't been reprinted since Eldraine. I think. Maybe a master set or something, but that's sick. Damn, okay, shit. Alright. Alright, Magic. I didn't know you were real like that. Wow, they even have these. The weird fetch lands. The slow fetches.
It seems like almost everything sacrifices. My question now is, how many basics are they running? I see 3 mountains.
3, 5, and 8.
Okay. That almost feels low.
No, it wasn't reprinted since Boomborough. Yeah, that does seem pretty low. Well, okay, well, what is interesting is that it says mountain or forest card, right? So that actually gets these cards, these ones that are dual landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, oh my god, even these get that? Holy shit! No, these are okay. No, these okay. I was like, Jesus. No,
those were printed at common. Those
definitely. Yeah, I'm like, wait.
You're getting a little ahead of yourself on that one.
I'm like, dang, Rafine's try cards was just gotten with these commons. That's crazy. Yeah, so these are basic. So yeah, I agree that there might be like, honestly, do we really need a Sulphurous Springs? Like, do we really need Sulphurous Springs? Because I really don't think we do.
Yeah, I think I would probably take some of those out that don't have like a dual land type, and I think I might even just add in some Triomes to make sure I'm hitting all of, because what would it be for Jund colors? The Jund Triome.
There is not a Jund Triome. That wasn't part of the Ikoria colors.
What was the Jund one for? I guess it wasn't a Triome, but it was a 3-color one from one of the more recent sets where they printed them.
Tarkir's not Jund, and Ikoria wasn't Jund. Chat, help us out. Zeator's Proving Ground. You're right.
That's it. Thank you. Zeator's. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Perfect. Yes. We were literally just talking about all this stuff here. Riveter's Overlook. That is the that's the looker. That's this one. Or oh yeah, Riveter's Overlook isn't actually in here. That's weird. What? No, it's right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, Zeator's Proving Ground. Perfect. Yeah. And there is a couple of cards here that say that, like one of the newer cards that says lands enter the battlefield untapped as well. This one here, Horizon Explorer. Lands you control enter untapped.
Love that, especially with all of these tap lands.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, like they're all tap lands. So I think that we should also make sure that we add another card, like maybe 1 or 2 more cards that make our lands come to play untapped, just to make sure that we're always.
Oh, like spelunking?
Yeah.
Good old go spelunkalunk.
It's like spelunking, right? Spelunking.
Yep. SPLE.
SPELUNKING, yes.
Alright, SPEL, yes.
Enter the battlefield, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Perfect. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, that super works.
I'm pretty sure that was part of that standard deck that included what is it, World Rage's Soul and
No, you're
the
good, West Coast. World Rager Soul? Oh, yeah. Um,
yeah, it was that
yeah, this
and
card's sick. This
the
card's
two
sick.
mana one that brings all of your stuff back. It was a real nasty yeah, World Soul's Rage, that one,
Yeah.
and then the Aftermath Analyst. That was,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, you take a really fun standard combo and throw it in your landfall deck.
Mm-hmm. But again,
Well,
like, I
land
think
land
that
stack.
this deck doesn't necessarily need to do too much with the whole, like, I don't think this deck needs Splendid Reclamation. If we are simply playing more lands from the graveyard. It
Yeah,
is go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say I feel like you also have a like the one creature that does that already.
Yeah.
That yeah, maybe you don't
Yeah.
need that one.
Yeah. I just mean like the theming of like land decks. I think that this one at the very least is a little bit different from say like the last land deck that they made, which I mean that was the last one that they made was Yuna from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. And that very specifically was like self mill because it made deserts go into the graveyard and sacrifice, and we bring them back to the battlefield. Like it was a mixture of both of those at the same time. I think that this deck is different, one, because it's different colors, but two, there's no self mill wanted. We're not milling like 5 cards, so therefore like 3 lands go to the graveyard, so we need to get them back somehow. We just need to have a land onto the battlefield, crack it, and then get it back somehow. Like, you know, one at a time.
Yeah, this deck seems like it's more in favor of quickly ramping. So then we have extra lands to sack
Right.
that maybe eventually we'll want to get back, but we don't want to start by putting them in the graveyard. We want them on the battlefield so we can put them in the graveyard
Right.
later.
Yeah. Super agree with that. So in that line of thinking.
Oh, that's
What
a
was I
good point. The Zurin Orb. I don't know if we necessarily need a
Oh
Zurin
yeah.
Orb because the +2 ability, we're really only wanting to sacrifice the lands when the spacecraft is out, and I feel like Hearthhole will be the sack outlet for it because it draws you the card. Or
I
twice.
would agree. Zurin Orb is definitely a good because like especially if we want our commander to be like the thing that kills our opponents, which again because our commander gets to kind of stay there the entire game, I think it will be. Zurin Orb would be something that like at the end of the game we can just go like, all right, everyone is within like 18 life or whatever. I will then sacrifice all of my lands, all 9 of them, to deal like 18 damage to you. That is definitely like one of the outs that we'll have once we get to a certain point. So I think Zurin fits as like the end game card for like 2 mana, right? Like 2 mana you just like
It's kind of wild to
win.
think that a 2 mana Zurin Orb can be your like win con
Yeah.
in this deck.
Isn't it normally like some sort of combo piece with like gaining infinite life or something like that? Like I don't even get it, to be honest. I've never played a Zurin Orb deck.
That's not your just last ditch effort to stay alive in a game that you have no business being alive in.
Yeah, right. So like, my deck was not built for this. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Let me go. I gotta go.
Sorry, I'm gonna just gain 20 life and stall this game.
Yeah, we're gonna just freeze it right here. Okay, thanks. Oh yeah, Urza. Oh yeah, Urza Saga. Urza Saga do be a land that sacrifices itself. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Urza Saga is a land that sacrifices itself. Wait, can we play that? No, we can't play it from the graveyard, can we?
Who's
Wait.
saying you can't?
Oh my god.
It's a land.
Oh no. Oh no, Misha, no. we're we're cooking. Oh no. That's pretty good.
I was gonna say, how many artifacts I mean,
Uh,
obviously Hearthhole is an artifact, but how many other artifacts are there,
there is
theoretically?
this, other than Hammer of Perforos, which I do not believe we need at all. Exploration Brood Ship, which is kind of cool. That is actually a one drop that we can get, brand new thing. And there might be another spacecraft or two from the actual set that, like, you know, does something cool. Yeah, thank you, Tyler. I was not thinking about Urza
Honestly,
Saga.
this brood ship, you know,
Kind of
having a
hot.
little construct that you might be able to bring back the saga and make more of.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of artifacts in this deck,
Mm-hmm.
but like the fact that you, like you said, can go get this, can go get the Soul Ring, can
Mm-hmm.
even, I think you can go get the Zurin Orb too, because it's just
Yeah.
1 mana or less, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's able to actually like tutor. It is a tutor card without having to actually like, you know, be a black tutor card that like finds something.
I just, as of right now where the deck's at, it's funny that the Urza Saga can get 3 out of the 5 space artifacts, and one's your commander, so it's really 4 out of 5 that are just, like,
Yeah.
basically ready to come into play.
Honestly, so true. That's so true. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. No, this. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
Zoranor will be a cool get, but this Exploration Brood Ship, I'm probably gonna get that first, and then later I'll get the Zoranor.
yeah, it's when you bring back the Urza Saga at the end
True,
game that
Tony.
you're like, oh, Zurin
Whoop!
Orb, I guess it's
Oh
over.
my gosh. Yeah, everyone's just like, why'd you get Urza Saga back? Just you wait. Just you wait. How much life do you
I've
have?
got, I've got a surprise for all of you.
Yeah. How much life do you have? 22? Dang, unfortunate. I have 12 lands and
Yeah, it's like, better call an ambulance, but not for
but not
me.
for me. I'm gonna sacrifice all of my lands. If they oh my god, someone like survives, like they life gain by 1, and you're like, fuck.
You at that point, you better hope you have a creature on the battlefield that lets you play lands from the graveyard, otherwise you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. 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 So very true. So very true. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry, so we're still on 100. So what other, the Gitrog monster lets us play land, in additional lands, but not from our graveyard. The Gitrog monster is also a land sacrifice card too. Is there another card that lets us play lands from our graveyard? I know that there is, but like, which one of them works better here? Graveyard land play. Let's see. We have Ancient Green Warden. What? What? Conduit. I don't. We could do Conduit of Worlds.
It's another artifact.
It is another artifact. Not that that's like we can't get it with Urza's thing, but like,
Yeah.
not only does it let us play lands from our graveyard, but also lets us cast a card from our graveyard in case it dies.
Yeah, it can help get some stuff back. So that's maybe not a bad include.
And it's a lot cheaper than the Conduit of Worlds, that's for sure. Or sorry, Crucible of Worlds. Like it is just, you know, money wise. Let's see. What is? Hello. Ren and Realmbreaker? Ren and Realmbreaker does let us cast cards from our play lands from our graveyard, doesn't it?
I've never even heard of half of these cards.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so high on the list, to be honest with you. I kind of thought they went in like popular on EDH rec order, if I'm being honest, if I'm being completely honest.
I've never heard of Mudhole, and that does not do the thing we want it to do.
Which is a shame, quite frankly. Target player removes all lands from their graveyard from the game. Yikes. Okay.
That's
that guy in
actively
particular.
one of the worst things for this deck.
Yeah.
You wanted those back? How about no?
Yeah. Let's see. Just looking for cards I recognize at this point. Ren and Realm Breaker. No, that's just a tap for any color, which does not mean anything to us. All right, let's. Someone said Ren. Oh, Ren and Realm Breaker. Yeah, that doesn't play lands from the graveyard though. Is Hearthhole a planeswalker? No, it is a spacecraft. Target land, mill 3, return permanent. Yeah, I don't want to do any mill in here because it's just not. Oh, this one, walk-in closet. Let me cast spells from your graveyard. Hold on, I gotta be able to read the damn thing. Oops.
Oh yeah, the room from Duskmourn.
Yeah.
That the second part lets you basically what was that fun?
Yawgmoth's Bargain? Is that what it is? Is that the thing? I think Yawgmoth's Bargain. I think that's what people call it. Yawgmoth's Will. Yawgmoth's Will. That's yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Whenever you unlock this door, you may cast spells from your graveyard this turn, and if a card will be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile instead. Okay, yeah. Hey, you know what? If chat says that card's good, I say it's good. I've never played with Yogg's Will in my life, so I'm just literally just gonna agree. But on the 3 mana side, it's play lands from your graveyard, which is pretty dope. I think that's cool. Yeah, combine that with Splunking, and you get infinite like card land sacrifice, but you never actually go down on lands. You never lose lands because you're just recasting the land that you just sacrificed.
How many cards are you at right now in this deck?
Currently 102. But we also added I personally think that we can definitely go down on lands. Like, it just doesn't need to be that. Why is there a waste in here? I don't think we need a waste.
I actually was wondering that because there was like was there one Eldrazi creature up top?
No. Oh! World Breaker? Man, get this out of get this out of here. We don't need World Breaker.
I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I saw an Eldrazi
That's
up there.
right, yeah.
So I'm like, I think that was why they put a waste in so that you can do the
Well, we don't need a
if you
World
cut
Breaker.
if you cut the waste in the World Breaker, you're at 100.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, we'll look at the lands again because I think that there's definitely more that we can do. We don't have to put every single like fetch, like, you know, literal like fetch money card in here, but I think that there's still something else that we could do. So yeah, we have one. Trying to look at all the cards that let us play lands from the graveyard. 1, 2, 3 for our secondary commander. Let's just play lands from the graveyard. Matters, thank you very much for the follow. And oh, just 3, huh? Just those 3 cards? I think we need more. And then for things that let us play additional lands, we have 1, 2, oh, sorry, 4. There's 4 things that let us play from the graveyards, and then only 2 that lets us play additional. Okay, so I think that's something that we can upgrade here. Better cards that let us play more than 1 land per turn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna have like 40 plus lands in the deck, we need to we need to be able to get them out of our hands.
Are you sure it was only 2?
Let's see. Our commander's an additional. Oracle Moldia's additional.
Is there not a sexy green tree man in this one?
No. It's only a 3-color deck though, right? Like, it's a 3-color deck that's, I mean, it is harsh on colors, but we also are full of like tap lands as well.
Yeah.
But no, there's not a sexy tree man in here. We could though.
I always love a sexy green tree man.
Yeah, because like we can get rid of Traversal lands for sure, and maybe even Sky Shadow Claim. Sexy tree man. What's his name? It's Dryad
of the Elysian Grove, I believe.
Is it the Elysian Grove? Of Elysian Grove? I can spell, obviously. There we go. Sexy man. Sexy man. So we can play additional lands, and all of our lands are every basic land type as well, right? So it's just like we're always cooking with the lands that we have. That come into play untapped because of all the other things that we do.
Yeah, he has a place here. He can come on the spacecraft. That's fine.
Yeah? He can dock with us?
He can dock with us.
Perfect.
He's invited.
I'm gonna look at play additional land cards here. Oh, I mean, I guess Azusa would do it. Shit, yeah, I mean, I guess Azusa would do it. If we... Yeah. I mean, she'll just... Yeah, Azusa is really good because we'll be able to, like, sacrifice a land, play it from the graveyard, sacrifice it again to something else, play it from the graveyard, sacrifice again, play it from... Yeah, like, we'll literally just be able to do that multiple times.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good in this deck.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Druid class, land enters, gain life, additional lands, that's blah blah blah. Escape the wild, oh, that's already in the deck. We could always explore. You don't have Ancient Green Warden? No, there's not a lot of landfall triggers in the deck. That's why I've been kind of skipping it. There's nothing in the deck, like there's few things in the deck that say like, oh, a land entered play, do this thing. So I haven't been super focused on trying to make that happen. Ah, see, Wayward Swordtooth, that's like something that we could do as well. No Green Warden plays lands. Oh! Is that what it also does? Play lands from your grave. Oh, right. Play lands from the graveyard. Yeah. No, that is fair. I guess it really just comes down to the 6 mana cost of it, where it's just like, okay, for 6 mana, we could probably play like 2 spells, sacrifice a land, do blah, 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 blah. Or it's like we can... double land triggers that don't really happen, or we can, like, now play lands from a graveyard. I think we just don't necessarily need that at 6 mana. Whereas I would rather, like, 2 other cards in the deck that just say, like, we could play lands from our graveyard.
Yeah, for much cheaper, so you're getting that.
Right. Nadu? Yeah, you're right, actually. Sorry. If you, Misha, if you could just change one of these symbols to blue, and we could just play Nadu instead, that'd be great. Kind of forgot about that.
We can change the red one.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, we don't need the red symbol in here. It only slows us down.
Actually, what if we just made the colorless one blue and just made it,
perfect.
4 pips?
Yeah, there we
4
go.
pips.
Yeah. And we're like, Gavin, why'd you do that? Oh, Nadu inclusion. Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Have you thought of Nadu?
Have you
Obviously.
Nadu? Alright, we don't need Groundskeeper to pay 1 in the green to get a basic land back from our graveyard to our hand. That seems weak. Seems weakness. Yeah, we'd rather just play the land.
Yeah, let us play it straight to the battlefield.
Exactly.
That's our hand. Gross.
Exactly.
Extra steps. I don't want extra steps in my
I don't think we need
simple-minded.
Yeah, big simple-minded creature over here. One thing that could help us actually is if we looked at like Titania, Protector of Argoth. Titania decks would actually probably include some of the cards that we're looking for in terms of like a land has to enter the graveyard from the battlefield. And one of the number 1 ways to do that, of course, is by sacrificing. So a Titania deck might actually include some...
I feel like you're going to look up the Titania deck and it's going to be 90% of the stuff you already have.
Yes, I agree. I think it will be just exactly that. Decks Titania. That's crazy that I can type in Titania and... Oh my god. As commander? What?
You're doing great, sweetie. You're doing great.
What's wrong? What happened? Did I not put it as commander? What's going on?
I don't know why it's doing this. Yeah.
All for Titan. There we go. Save filter. There we go. All right.
It got a little confused.
It got a little confused.
It was it, not you.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's most likes. Who likes theirs the most? Okay. Let's see. Damn, this is already green as hell, and I hate it. Definitely a bunch of lands. Definitely a bunch of elves. Ramanappa seems to be good. Sacrifice land target creature can't be the target of spell. Ooh! Wait a minute. That's kind of cool. Sylvan Safekeeper?
Hmm.
Yeah, another sack land outlet that once we get to critical mass could just be like another Zurin orb for us, right? That just like lets us kill people.
Yeah.
And it keeps things away from our commander once we make it a creature. I think that's pretty cool. Add this to... Oh god. Oh no. There's a lot of decks.
And I have a feeling people took different approaches with many of them.
Yeah, no, these are my decks, but it also...
yes.
What did I call this? It's okay, we'll just remember it. Sylvan Safekeeper. Okay. Let's see. Voyaging Satyr, Tireless Provision. We could always do that. How does this deck get lands into the graveyard?
It's that one turn. It's that one turn one elf. It's just
Yeah.
every land.
Mulligan until turn one elf and just concede the rest every other game. Destroy target land or search. No, I can't imagine that it's. I can't imagine it's that.
It doesn't. Is there even a crop rotation in
There
here?
is a crop rotation,
Okay,
which we gotta
I
make
guess
sure that we add to that deck for sure. Yeah, we gotta make sure we add that to the thing. Haro. Why does it not feel like we ever trigger our commander's ability? Like, we untap a bunch of lands, don't get me wrong, but we certainly don't destroy them.
Do you think they're beast withinning their own lands?
Yes. I absolutely believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
I played a game of Plane Chase one time, and the plane we were on was an effect that made anytime you cast an instant or sorcery, instead of just targeting one thing, it targeted every available option.
Mm-hmm.
And, Beast Within, it just says destroy target permanent and create a 3/3 beast. And so I cast it, and it targeted every available option, which meant everybody's lands, creatures.
Oh god.
I nuked it was mass land destruction, mass board destruction, and I gave so many beasts.
You monster? Yeah, I think that's the only term to use right here. Yeah.
I had a great time.
And how did everyone else do?
I think we just all sat there kind of dumbfounded, but it was great.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I found some lands. Command Beacon. Pretty cool. If people target our commander, it's just like, damn, you just made me sacrifice a land, idiot. Lothus Field makes us sacrifice lands. Lothus Veil. Okay, that's a bit too much money. I don't want to. We're not trying to make this $1,000 deck upgrade here. Prismatic. Okay, Jesus Christ, my guys. We better just put fetch lands in here. What is going on? Sacrifice a land, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That's crazy. We could put in Wrath's Edge. when we really need to deal 3 damage to one player in particular. Oh, there's probably strip mine loops that people could do with this deck. That's gross. That's gross. Okay. Yeah, I think those are some like cheaper sacrifice your land things. Let's see if there's another.
I feel like strip mine if you want to be the real enemy.
Right, is like already doing a lot.
I was gonna say, how mean do you want to be with this deck?
Not trying to be that mean. I want the commander and our sacrificing of lands to be what kills people, because I think that's cool. We need scape shift. Yeah, that's my goal for how this commander will win in a way that's more unique than this deck that we're looking at right here, where it's just like, yeah, Titania gets elementals for lands going to the graveyard, but I think I'll just make mono green elves instead. And like, to me personally, that doesn't elicit any like excitement. That's just like mono green elves. So I think I want this commander to be like, yeah, well, what does your commander do? Well, I sacrifice lands and I kill everyone for 2 each time I do it. So I'm going to show you a deck that does that very thing, and you're going to lose to it.
Yeah, I feel like in the Hearthhold deck, those elves that you're making with Titania is more of a like way to keep yourself protected, like so that you can potentially outlast other people's attackers.
Until it was just a Crater Hoof. Both of them had like Crater Hoof in it, so I think it was just like.
Oh no, I mean for like the Hearthhold deck.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Having it in Hearthhold, it's more of a way to keep yourself protected from someone else doing like some sort of mass attacks.
Yes.
So you have some bodies that can keep you safe.
Correct. Yeah, we're not going to win simply because Titania's out, but we will have 5/3s while our commander does the thing that our commander does. Oh my god, Exploration just straight up lets us play additional lands on each of our turns. What the fuck?
Doesn't Exploration let everybody play them though?
Not this
or
one.
No.
No, this one's just you.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Rites of Flourishing or something. Or well, you're thinking of a card that we're definitely not putting in this deck. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. We are not doing that. No, sir.
No, it wasn't Concordant Crossroads either, because that just makes them go fast.
Yeah, definitely not
Concordant Crossroads. That makes them all go fast.
Which we do not want in this deck. Like, that's the last thing that we want.
You don't want your opponent's creatures to go real fast?
And I don't want my artifact, my spacecraft commander that requires 8 creatures to give it power in order for it to turn into a creature that already has haste. I'm not trying to give that haste. Yeah, you're right. You are right. I'm not. I'm not trying to do that.
It's a light speed, super fast spacecraft.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Let's see. Ghost Quarter. You know what? This deck does get to play cards like Ghost Quarter and like other slight land removal pieces because we actually win by doing it. Oh my god, and Tech Edge. We're not going to be mean about it, but like, you know, we still get to do it. No one else has special lands. Only us. Only we. Was it Tempt with Discovery? Oh god. Was it Tempt with Discovery that you're thinking of?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's a card that we're not putting in this deck. Because we don't need to do Group Hug in this deck. We are doing Group Slug, specifically. Okay, I think...
I thought we were just throwing dirt at people and...
Ooh, I actually...
Ooh, you should call this the Pocket Sand deck.
I like that.
Throwing Pocket Sand in people's faces.
I like throw dirt at people. That's actually a good way to put it, Mish. And there you go. Damn, it really looks like Ramonep Excavator is like the best card ever to just play. Like, every single deck has a Ramonep Excavator. Which is fine. Yeah. I thought there might have been something else. Oh, that's cute as fuck.
Oh, it's just a cute little guy.
Yeah, and their child. That's cute.
Oh, I meant the microspawn, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
the
right,
cat,
yeah,
the
no,
cat's
for sure.
cute too, I guess.
Right, yeah, no, I'm so sorry. I forgot who I was talking to for a second. This is literally Miss Spore. Oh my god, what? Miss Fungus Among Us over here.
Yes.
Yes.
That's me.
And we love you for it. We love you so much for it. Okay, yeah, no, I guess. Okay, they're definitely beasts within their lands, though. That much is true. That much I full-heartedly believe.
I mean, I feel like if you don't beast within a land, like, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Bene Supremo, what is this?
Oh, that was from the Sheldon secret lair.
Is it?
Yeah, oh, what is
Greater Good! That's Greater Good. That's so
say...
cute.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Greater Good, that's right.
They did Sheldon right with that. In Italian? Aww! Okay, well now I'm gonna cry. Alright, anyway. Let's, Oh, Crystal Vein. Sacrifice it, put 2 mana in your pool. Okay, alright. We found some better... City of Traders. Do you think that this is a good budget upgrade? City of Traders? You think? Probably. Probably a good one. Ooh! I just remembered. There is, Oh, what a weird card. I've never seen that before. There's, you know those lands, the like 3-color lands that say, you can... It taps for all colors, but it enters tapped, but you have to sacrifice a land in order to, play it? Or to, like, keep it there?
I don't know what I have never heard of those.
They're very bad. Like, don't... I'm not showing you...
I was gonna say, that does not sound great.
Yeah, they're bad. They're, like, literally... It's like, they're all in, like, Ravnica sets. And they're just... Like, Transguild Promenade, I think is, like, one of them. Let's go back here. Oops. So,
I like how many bad cards that you remember.
Yeah. Yeah. All to be slightly more unique. Yeah, these, right. So, it enters tapped, and you sacrifice it unless you pay 1.
Huh.
Now, Mish, what if we played it, it's sacrificed, we dealt 2 damage to each of our foes, but we have Azusa out, and we're able to play lands from graveyard, so we just play it again.
2, 4, 6, dead.
Yeah.
That's,
We didn't go up nor down in lands. We simply
like
existed.
the same one
Yeah.
3 times over.
Yeah. Like, that's
I was gonna say,
hilarious.
I do remember there being a card like this. I think it was maybe an Ixalan, where, yeah, they've had multiple where they, like, if you don't pay the 1, it just, you sacrifice it immediately. So that's not a, like, only to this
Yeah, it's
set.
not only to this. I think it was kind of like more... It was certainly more unique to Ravnica because, like, you know, all the guilds, it's like, it was like the only multicolor land in the Ravnica sets that tap for everything versus just the 2 colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely print them a couple times a year. But this just made me think, like, there is a specific bad strategy that we could use to do a bunch of damage for no good reason.
I'm here for it. I like weird bad stuff.
Ooh, I like
that
Ernest.
synergizes.
Yeah. We're here for it. Alright, let's see. Escape Tunnel. Oh, that's actually really good. Damn.
Secret tunnel.
Damn, that card's good. Why is it so good?
Oh, I love that card. I know it's a common from MKM, which people hated on, but
Yeah.
that card won me so many games where it's just like, actually, this little disguise guy can't be blocked.
Yeah.
Oh, transform! Are you ready for this giant thing that is now unblockable because we're past blockers?
Right? Constant miss. Oh, hey, look at that. What? I've never seen this card before in my life. That's cute.
That just seems mean.
Hell
I like
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah.
It's like Spore Frog, but with lands.
Yeah.
Land Frog.
And it's like, damn. Well, at least your commander's removable. And it's just like, well, if you have artifact removal, nerd. Let's see. What, yeah, hold on. Sacrifice land. Let's see if there's just things that say sacrifice land. Also, how much time do you have? I didn't mean to, like, take you from the rest of your day.
Oh, I'm good for a bit.
Okay.
I was gonna play some Final Fantasy 1, which, you know, it's been there for like 30 years. It can wait a little longer.
It can wait a little longer. Ooh! Aggressive mining? That's...
So you can't play lands.
Oh, you know
You missed the very first slide. I was like, that actively...
My mind blanked out the part I did not want to see and only saw what I wanted to.
I was like, what do you mean aggressive mining? That sounds horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Ooh, Apple of Eden. That sounds naughty.
Well, it is from Assassin's Creed. It's a mythic that's 69 cents, so, you know.
It must be good then,
It
right?
must be good. Look at the opponent's hand, play card. That's bad. Alright,
There's too many words, it's
yeah,
bad.
it's too many words, and it clearly did nothing. Damn, I kind of thought... I thought that when we did it through Moxfield, it kind of, like, listed cards through, like, EDH Rec usability and all that, and this is, like, clearly not doing that.
It might be a sorting option.
Yeah, can I... No, that's EDH. Wobbler, if you're there, how do I do the search based on EDH Rec rank? I keep forgetting the code to do that. Sacrifice land, and it's like rank or something. Hold on. There is a specific key to type it in by like how often, you know, that's like on EDH Rec, because Scryfall does it. Scryfall itself does it, which we can just do right here actually. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like a frequency?
something like that. Sacrifice land. Oh, and identity is Jund. Is it OTAG? OTAG is what does it? Let's do EDH Rec rank. Okay. This can't be true. So it's still sorting by name. Okay, hold on. Come on now. There we go. Alrighty. Wow, that's a beautiful terramorphic expanse. Holy shit. Oh, it's from the space set. Damn, that's pretty.
That is really pretty.
Yeah.
I was gonna see who did it, because it looks kind of like a Schmandrew piece, but it's not.
Ellen Penacall. Okay, so obviously all the fetch lands were here. I probably should have seen that coming, to be honest with you. Let's see, crop rotation, yeah. Buried ruin, nah, we don't need to do all that. Harrow we have. Burnished Heart.
I was gonna say this isn't a
Ooh.
Steve deck.
Ent's Restoration does sacrifice a land and gets more lands.
Oh, that is a pretty good one.
Yeah, for 3 mana, we get to do some damage, trigger something or other, and put lands into play. Alright. Entish.
And if you have a creature with power 4 or greater, you get to get up to 3 basic lands. So it gets you more.
Strip Mine, Treasure Vault, Emergent Zone, Croson Verge, Taros Tracker. Ooh, Torment of Hellfire. Wait a minute. Oh, non-land permanent. Man, it says sacrifice and non-land. I hate you. Damn it, Magic. Spring Bloom Druid's already in the deck. Field of Ruin, Urza's Cave. Oh. I guess we could put that in there. But I think we need to think about how many colorless lands we put in here. The Cabaretti stuff. Aftermath. Gitrog. Lotus. Roiling Regrowth. Scape Shift is obviously the big one. Zurin Orb. Crystal Vein. Oh yeah, we can do Nurturing Peatland. Sacrifice another creature, search for a land. Kalani Heart Expedition. Twisted Landscape. Yeah, we could do that, I think. Oh, Elvish Reclaimer. Pay 2, tap, sacrifice a land, search your library for a land, and put it into the battlefield taps. Did I sacrifice permanent as well? No, because that would, that's a lot. I know it would also get us our answer, but it would also, unless I can take the word non-land out of that search equation, it would make us search for, like, every card under the sun. Yeah, this is Constant Miss, okay. Discover cards. Damn, we're still just like running into everything that says like non-land, which is really annoying.
Yeah. What does Realm Breaker do?
Realm Breaker. Pay 2, target opponent mills 3 cards, put a land from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. It gains if this land would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. And then pay 10, tap it, sack it, look for any number of Praetor cards and put it into the battlefield.
Not what we're doing at all.
As goofy, funny, silly as that is not what we're doing. Never get Rog attacks. Saddled. God damn it.
Yeah, giddy up, little froggy.
Giddy up, big ass froggy. Damn it. It's so difficult to search for. It's like not... Oh, wait, okay. If you control former lands, search your library for a basic land card, put into the battlefield tapped. Oh, Edge of Autumn. Oh, cycle, sacrifice a land. Okay, so that's not really good. Primal Growth, sacrifice... God damn it. Wah! Ooh, Nahiri's Lithoforming. Okay. We could do that. Nahiri's Lithoforming. Sacrifice X lands. For each land sacrifice this way, draw a card. You may play X additional lands this turn. Oh, yeah.
It's something to get it out of the graveyard. You basically just sack them all and replay them all.
Yes. That's hot. That's hot. Yeah.
That's hot, and it looks hot, too.
Yes.
Like, that looks very hot in that card.
Oh my god, oh my god. And we would beat people with like the most bougie-ass rare. People are like, how did you lose? It's just like, yeah, so he played Nahiri's Lithoforming. And they're like, what the hell is that?
It's my win con,
It's my win con, bro. I used to play Nahiri's Lithoforming Corvold Land. Oh, Corvold lands! Yeah! Corvold Sacrifice is good. Oh, wait.
Corvold's in the deck.
Right. He is. Squandered resources. That's sacrifice a land, add to your mana pool 1 mana of the type of land that could be produced. I mean,
Okay.
it's $32. That's like
So you're saying that that's like squandered resources, aka your money.
Got him, got him, got him, got him. Misha Migo. Yes.
I got that card's ass.
Fucking got him, Mish. Oh my god. How did the Sin Spirit deck turn out? Pretty good, Private Farda. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. Sequestered stash. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting to the... Oh! Oh! Greater Gargadon, eh? No, that's probably too funny. That's probably too goofy, right? Yeah, Orcish Lumberjack is in the deck. That's probably... This is too goofy. Nah, that's too goofy.
I won't lie, that seems really funny to get, like, you know, pay 1 red and be like, okay, 9/7 coming at you.
Here's... And also it has haste because it comes off suspend. I swing with my 9/7.
Yeah. Gargadon go burr.
Gargadon go burr, indeed. Yeah, Public Thoroughfare. And it's like that. Ravnica land again. Oh my goodness. Why? It's limited to forest though, but you're running Yavimaya. No. Wait, what? Oh, no, sorry. You said Orcish Lumberjack. Sorry, I actually didn't hold on, I'll look that up in just a second. We're trying to find cards that let us sacrifice lands and that, like, you know, are worth a damn. But unfortunately, we're finding every single card that says sacrifice non-lands, which is really fun. Reprocess, which is a very real card. 4 mana, sacrifice any number of artifacts, creatures, or lands. Draw a card for each permanent sacrifice this way. I don't even think we need to draw cards that hard, right?
I feel like there's so many other things that are drawing us cards
Our
that
commander,
are cheaper.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, our commander does it, you know? Yeah, that's super fair. That's super fair.
I feel like that would be taking like a turn off for something you don't really want to do. It would be a dead card in hand most of the time.
Yep, no, that's very true. That's very true. Sacrifice a land, draw a card on a 6 mana 6/5 with trample. That's perfect, right?
It was good in its set as a limited creature.
Right. Yeah. Hi, Mia Bite! Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate you. Aki Scrap Chomper, a 1 mana 1/1, pay 2, sacrifice an artifact or land, draw a card.
You have to tap it though.
Yeah, it's not repeatable.
I think we're starting to get into the
weeds.
the not so good options.
Okay, hold on, wait. And Hugh the Antwood. Sacrifice any number of lands, reveal the top X, where X is the number of lands. Sacrifice, choose any number of artifacts and the lands card reveal this way. Put all the lands chosen to the. Ooh. I mean, wait a minute. This is another Nahiri's Lithomancy. Arguably.
Put on non-land, so basically any instant sorceries would be the only things not going onto the battlefield.
All non-land card. Choose any number of artifacts and or land cards. So we don't get any creatures. We don't get any creatures. It's just, yeah, it's basically just like Nahiri's Lithomancy, right? So, like, we pay 5, we sacrifice 5, we reveal the top 5, we take any lands and artifacts and put them onto the battlefield, and then the rest go to the bottom. So, like, we'll end up with less lands than we did before, because we're not going to get 5 lands for 5.
Yeah.
Looking at the top 5, so probably not. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because, like, they made, like, this art for this card, and it's still just, like, not playable, like, anywhere.
Right, like, and it's a mythic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's your Lord of the Rings mythic. Oh, cool. Hugh the Entwood.
How much does this thing cost?
5 mana or 30 cents.
Yeah, I meant real money.
30 cents.
Not
Yeah.
magic money, not my mana.
Yeah, that's completely different. One of those I care about more. So. Mm. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Unless chat finds a card that makes us do what we need to do, I think we're at the end of our rope here.
Yeah, honestly, I think we already have to make some cuts, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Alright. Hey, Conte. Okay. So, we don't even need this card. We don't care about playing lands from the top of our deck. We want lands from our graveyard and nothing else.
Yeah.
Or at least additional lands. God Eternal Bantu. Oh yeah, God Eternal Bantu was also like 5 mana. We can sacrifice any permanents we want, draw that many cards, and do goofy shit. So we already have like one card that lets us hit because we're goofy.
We deserve that as a treat.
As a little treat, you know? Ooh, Jury Master Review is good. Corvold is here, getting us a lot of good shit. Enters the battlefield, you may discard one or more land cards. If you do, return that many non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Ooh, I mean, that's actually pretty decent. Even if it's discarding lands, we get things back. You know, no, we don't need anything back. We never lose anything. Mayhem Devil, Sacrifice, close and close encounters on Sacrifice. Extra combats, we don't really care about extra combats, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah, Morog probably,
Yeah.
He's a little expensive, too.
Yeah.
And he cares more about landfall than anything else, so
right.
I don't think he fits the theme.
Yeah. Multani, return 2 lands from our hand. Each land card that we control and in our graveyard, yeah, it hits on both ends. Like, Multani will always just be like a 6 mana reach, trample, thickums.
Yeah.
Even if we sacrifice every land, Multani's still thick as fuck, bro. Omnath, Locus of Rage, how do we feel about him? He gives us guys.
He gives us guys, but I feel like he's unlike Titania that gets us stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's just a landfall guy, and he's real expensive.
Mm-hmm.
He's seven
yeah,
mana.
7 mana.
I don't think he quite fits the. He's not passing the vibe check.
All right, I love it. Oracle of Moldiah, that's our additional lands, and we can play it from the top, sure, whatever. But at least it's additional lands. Now, Rampaging Baloths is cheaper than Omnath, and makes better creatures, and has trample naturally.
And has an easier mana.
True.
Like, you don't have to have so
Red.
many of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good point, good point, good point. Alright, so that says Ramanap. Apparently this is the greatest card since Spilled Milk, so... Yeah, I said those words. This is one of the new cards, so that stays. Sprouting Goblin, ETB. If we kick it, we search for a land. If not, like, whatever, it's still a 2-mana 2/2. And we can pay red, sack a land, draw a card, which, you know, I think will be something that we do constantly.
Yeah.
Springbloom Druid, ETB, sacrifice a land, get 2 basics, taps, perfect. That's, you know, exactly what we're doing. Soul of Ringgrace, enter or attack. Put a land from our graveyard into the battlefield tapped. Says more discard land cards than sacrificing, which is kind of not cool.
Yeah, I can see that not being.
Yeah, not really what we're about. Zariel, that's their secondary commander. This also lets us pay lands from our graveyard, so that's great. Gitrog Monster, when lands get sacrificed, we draw cards, so we love that. And play additional lands. Titania, enter, return target land card from graveyard to the battlefield. Whenever land is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, make a 5/3. Beautiful. We'll trigger this even more often than landfall.
Yep.
Urg, spawn of Turg. Power is equal to the number of land cards in your graveyard, which is something that we don't actually do that often. So I think this is definitely a takeout.
I was gonna say, though, he is one of those things that, like, you could be swinging with, like, a 2/5, and then all of a sudden you have a mass land like outlet, and you're like, actually, how about he's a 10/5,
Oh.
and you're dead.
And they took all that damage from our commander. Okay, Mish.
He's like,
Okay.
I feel like he could be a little sneaky.
Okay, Misha amigo. I see you. That's a good one. All right, love that. Love that. Wayward Swordtooth is just like a... Oh, okay. It is a 3-mana goober guy that not only does it let us play additional lands, but it's a 5/5, so it can't block yet. But it does crew our spaceship really well.
Yeah, cruise the spaceship. Who's flying this ship? It's a dinosaur.
It's a fucking dinosaur. God damn it. God damn it, it is. Dinosaurs on this spaceship. I mean, honestly, like turn 1 or 2, we play, like, a creature. Turn 3, Wayward Swordtooth. It's like...
I don't really think it's going to be that hard to get the city's blessing. So,
Yeah.
like, he's great for stationing, because you can play him on 3, and then station on 4, station on 5, because, like, you can just re-station him.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So, yeah, that guy works. This guy? Fucked.
He's just gotta dock twice, and the spaceship is fully manned.
He is wayward, though. He ain't loyal.
Oh, it's okay. I'd follow him.
Alright, Sylvan Safekeeper. Oh, yeah, we can go for the much cheaper version. Alright. Blasphemous Act is already in the deck. We might as well just keep it. It's fine, whatever. Cultivate. So, yeah, in terms of the mana tutoring cards, this deck has Cultivate, Farseek, and Nature's Lore. As far as the sorceries go. There's like... Didn't we put... Oh, there's instant speed ones. Never mind. I lied. We're fine.
I was gonna say Sky Shroud's claims in there too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's more than enough in here. Okay. Do we even need Cultivate, though? Was Cultivate too slow, considering all the ones that we have? That's like the slowest version we can get.
Sky Shroud claims slower.
But this one puts them into play. It's forest cards, and they're untapped.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's just one little Cultivate. Escape to the Wilds. Do we need this? Play an additional land, exile top 5, you can play stuff.
We have so many things that let us play additional lands as like a permanent, rather than just a sorcery, so I don't know if that's...
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
And we're going to be drawing so many cards that I don't think we need to exile.
Yeah, we will be drawing. Our commander is literally going to be drawing us 2 cards every turn. We're drawing 3 cards every single turn, like guaranteed. Alright, Gaze of Granites, good board wipe. Nefarious Lithoforming, we're gonna... it's gonna be really fun. This is gonna be so funny. When we, we literally sacrifice every land we control and then just cast them all from the graveyard. This is gonna be so funny.
It's gonna be so sad if someone has instant speed destruction for whatever thing lets you cast stuff from your graveyard.
Don't say that. Don't say
I'm
words
just
like that.
saying. I'm just saying. On that off chance that someone's like, oh, this creature that lets you play stuff from the graveyard, how about it dies?
What's even funnier is that, because it's not in addition to paying the spell, sacrifice the lands, it's part of the resolution. So, like, we do this, and someone's just like, I don't get it, you just wiped all your lands. It's like, well, take a bunch of damage, we're gonna draw a bunch of cards. And they'll be like, okay. And then, when the stack is clear, we start playing lands from our graveyard. But the thing is, playing lands from the graveyard is not something you can respond to, like, instant speed-wise. So we'll just keep playing lands, and they'll be like, wait, in response, I want to kill your card. And you're just like, sorry, bud. You can't respond to me simply playing... I'm just playing lands. I'm not triggering any abilities.
Right? They would have to respond to it while the sorcery's on the stack, right?
Yeah. But they'll never know. They'll never understand what's going on.
They won't get it.
They'll
They
never.
won't.
No,
We'll never, take these backseas and let them.
No, we absolutely will not. No, we already have our cards in our hand, Misha. We just drew 20 cards. Come on, we can't let them take it back. Come on.
What's even crazier is if you sacrifice like 10, 15 lands and you're drawing that many cards, how many of the cards do you think you also just drew are lands?
And we get to play them anyway. So yeah, we're still gonna like win. And even though it says that like lands this turn come to play tapped, it's like, well, we have guys that say lands come to play untapped. So what of it? Like, what do you want? Hell yeah.
Do you think you should run a reliquary tower in this deck?
Because
it sounds like we are going to be,
Oh, right. We did just draw 50 cards, didn't we?
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, maybe. I don't think it's something that we need to like go towards. I think we'll be okay. And what do we? Okay, listen. You know what we do, Mish? We just simply discard lands. And you know what we do with them? We play them.
Play them again.
We just play them again.
You're right.
Nature's Lore, anything? Okay. Knight's Whisper. Draw 2, lose 2. I think that's like fine early on. Maybe yes, kind of. Our commander does always draw us 2 cards, so we don't really need.
But it does take us 4. So like theoretically, if you're getting stuck and not getting to like some of these, you say you don't get your Farseek or any of the stuff that helps you ramp, like that. Damn. Might help you get there.
That does sound like the worst possible game ever. I don't want to have the worst possible game ever. You're
but
right.
Then again, if you're running 40-something lands, like,
yeah.
Should you be?
Surely we'll get to turn. Deck? Surely we'll get to 4 mana, right?
Yeah, cut it. We don't need that.
Yeah, we'll get to 4 mana. We're invincible.
Never punish.
Yeah, we'll never die. Pest Infestation, this is just good, like, just remove a bunch of artifacts and enchantments. Yeah. I think that's fine. Planetary Annihilation, this stays. Oh yeah, did you see this card, Lamau?
I did not, but it sounds nasty. I like it.
Yeah, 5 mana, each player chooses 6 lands they control, then sacrifices the rest, then 6 damage to each creature. So not only does our commander survive, but we also deal, I mean, every land above 6 to everyone. And then probably swing into an open board.
That's disgusting. I love it.
Scape Shift. Yeah, I mean, Scape Shift is perfect for this. Just, if there was one card that I'm like, hey guys, you want to buy this for this deck, it would be Scape Shift. And then Nahiri's Lithoforming. That's like right after. Skyshard Claim, World Soul, X damage any target. Put X lands from your hand and or graveyard into the battlefield taps. That's great. We love it. Beast Within. Yep. Constant Miss. So pay 2 mana, cast it, sacrifice a land, deal 2 damage to everyone, trigger other abilities, and then prevent combat damage.
Seems good.
Seems good. What other version of that? Oh, right. Yeah, it looks like that. That's right. $10 card. We'll be fine. Crop Rotation. Yep. This is a game changer. Allegedly.
Yeah, you gotta rotate the crops.
Gotta rotate them. Harrow. It's the same thing. Infernal Grasp. Kill spell. Putrefy. Pretty sure we can do better than Putrefy, but we don't need to. Do we need Rakdos Charm?
Wow, they didn't even put the Ass Trophy in?
No! You know what? Rakdos will do, yeah. Assassin's Trophy for Rakdos Charm. There we go. And then Roiling Rebirth, this is another crop rotation. And then Terra Sunder, just more artifact enchantment removal, and another board wipe. Or kind of ish board wipe. It's fine. Artifacts. I don't even think that we need an Arcane Signet. We are so land pilled that we don't even, like, we don't need a 2 mana card that produces mana. We just need a 2 mana card that searches for a land.
If it's not 1 mana for the, for the Urza Saga, I don't want it.
Exactly. Exactly. Conduit of Worlds. So yeah, we can either do Conduit of Worlds or um the other of Worlds, Crucible.
I guess how much money do you want to spend?
Well, it did add $24. But it costs 3 mana. You know what? We're just gonna do it anyway. We're not gonna say money's no object, but you know, it's a good card. It's a good card. It has so many different printings.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the Crucible or the Conduit, like that lets you play stuff from your graveyard too. So like it could be.
Yeah.
Good, but like
the 4 mana card of it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how often we're going to be wanting to do that versus.
Well, see, Misha, if we had to play cards from our graveyard, that means that something bad happened to a card that we liked, which we don't believe in. Right, we simply don't believe that that's a possibility, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, nothing bad can happen.
Right.
To either of us.
We don't need Binding of the Old Gods. Destroying a non-land permanent is cool, but we have removal. And the other two abilities are literally whatever.
That's what I thought too when I saw it, and I'm like, I love the card. I don't think it's great in this deck.
Yeah. Alright, so we have, all of our enchantments are all play additional lands. Lands are untapped, play additional lands.
Seems good.
Alright, now the lands. This is a color-heavy deck, so we do need to make sure that we have more lands that produce colors than not.
How many cards are we at right now?
We are at 104 cards, and we're at 49 lands. So we do have to go back and add some regular things.
Because are we wanting to stick to, what was it, 42?
It was 42. I think 40 is fine, personally. But I also don't play land decks, so I will literally defer to anyone that plays land decks more than me. Which I think is you, so... How many lands do you want to go for, Mish?
I know a normal deck, they say you should play 38.
Right.
So, with the land deck, I think the 42 might be a fair assessment.
Okay, sounds good. So we gotta take out 7.
Alright.
Okay, so Bajuka Bog is fine. They gotta be in there somehow.
I just hope we don't get Bajuka bogged.
No. That would be bad.
That'd be a very sad day for us.
Yeah. Canyon Slough. It's tutorable and it comes in play tap, but like, I mean, what doesn't, I guess? And I guess we could cycle it or something. Like, I guess these lands are fine.
Yeah, like, I don't love it, but like, depending on the situation, having a cycling land, I don't hate it.
Yeah. The Cinder... I like these, like, unless we have 2 more basic lands, and I think that we're gonna have basic lands pretty solidly.
Yeah, so many of these come in and let you, like, you sack them to go get a basic, so I think you will very quickly get your basics.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna not have basics to tutor relatively fast, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we bump at least some of these numbers up. Command Beacon, I think this is just good for our commander. I think that's like a fine colorless land. Command Tower. Crystal Vein, so it either taps for 1 or we sacrifice it to add 2, so like there's 1 turn where we get like an extra boost. How much that matters is kind of like meh. I
don't think I care for that one too much.
Perfect. Okay. Emergence Zone, taps for colorless, or we can pay 1 and sack it, and we can cast things at flash speed for that turn.
How much are we really trying to do flash?
Literally not at all.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
Okay. Escape Tunnel, we can it's either a sack and look for a basic, or target creature power 2 or less can't be blocked, which I don't think
I like the tunnel. I like the tunnel a lot.
Okay. This is one of the new cards, so that stays. Evolving Wilds. If we're not filling up with fetches, we might as well just keep the evolving and the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Fabled Passage. I mean, listen, Fabled Passage comes free with entry, apparently. So, I guess that stays too. This is one of the newer cards. Forest. Ghost Quarter. We both get to search for a base. Oh. Oh no, this one actually just loses us this card. It doesn't let us also search for a land. But I think it's also free.
Is that like a slightly better,
Okay.
what's it
Take
called?
out Tech Edge, yeah. Tech Edge was definitely the worst one. What's the, not Blasting Zone. What is the mutual one that people use? I think that one costs 2 mana for each of us to find a land and put it into play. But we killed something.
Is that the strip mine?
No. It's not Blasting, it's something. Chat, what is that? The land that destroys that people use now? Like, the modern day version of it? It's like Ghost Quarter, but better. And it's like standard playable too. I just don't remember.
I can't think of it.
It's probably on page 1. One would hope. Let's see. Demolition Field.
Ah, okay.
Destroy target non-basic land opponent controls. Its land's controller may search for basic. You may search your library for basic into the battlefield. Yeah, we'll trade out Ghost Quarter for Demolition Field.
Okay.
And this looks like it's from a space set anyway, even though it's from Final Fantasy, so perfect. Carpusian Forest. I don't think we need Pain Lands at all.
I agree with that.
I think the Pain Lands were in here for the Eldrazi. I think that's what they were in here for.
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't think we need that.
Yeah, we don't need land on our Ace. Horizon of Progress. This is pay 1 and add mana of any color that we could produce, or we can pay 3 to put a land from our hand onto the battlefield tapped for, just, I guess, if we need to trigger landfall. Or we could pay 1 and sacrifice it to draw a card. So it kind of does it all.
It seems okay.
Yeah, like, just okay. Lotus Fields, when it enters the battlefield, we have to sacrifice 2 lands, which is perfectly fine by us.
Yeah, I think Lotus Field's a good include for this one. The fact that you can add 3 mana. So.
Oh my goodness, Azusa, and we get to play lands from the graveyard. We play Lotus Field, sacrifice 2 lands, and then play those 2 lands anyway.
Yep.
Are we cracked? Are we crazy? Maestro Seether automatically sacrifices itself. I like these lands. Good on liking those. Mountain Valley. So yeah, so these enter tapped, and then we can crack them to look for a mountain or forest card and put them into the battlefield untapped.
Huh.
And they gave us the red-green one, the red-black one, and it's just those 2, but I actually think that there's not the other colors of these, so I think these are fine. They come free with purchase, and they're pretty.
Was the Smoldering Marsh not the, is that not the 3rd one?
No, Smoldering Marsh is the Tangle land.
Oh, gotcha.
Which, of course, stays. This is the other Cycle land, the Sheltered Thicket.
Gotcha.
The Terramorphic Expanse. So we have 3. There's Terramorphic, Evolving Wilds. Those are the only 2, right? Yeah. Oh, Myriad Landscape. Do we still want this one? It enters tapped, and then it gets 2 lands taps? Like, is this...
Seems a little slow.
Yeah. I would agree. Okay. We are at 43 lands, so 1 more land out, honestly, would be fine. And this is the Transguild Promenade thing, which, it's kind of cute. I think it might lead to some sort of like goofy combo thing.
Yeah, it's funny, and if you do need it, you can tap 1, and then you have any color. So it's actually not a bad fixer if that's what you need it for, so I'm okay with that.
Alright, perfect. And then the last two cards, we have the Zeator's Proving Ground, this card that's brand new, Urza Saga, which is funny, and then it has like Twilight Mire and Viridescent Bog.
I
And
don't like the ones that you like the Viridescent Bog.
Yeah.
I don't like the ones that you have to pay one just to ramp one. Like,
oh, chat makes a good point. Jund Panorama, which is
I do like the panoramas. Yeah.
Yeah. So it already taps.
It comes in tapped. But
No. Oh yeah, the new land comes in tapped. Yeah. But sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it just comes in as colorless, and that's cool. And then Twisted Landscape, Twisted Tease. Twisted Landscape. That's that new... Oh, yeah, okay. It's the MH3 one. Where it's another panorama, but we could also cycle it. If we're being funny about it.
Hmm.
Now, I think that I would prefer these two cards over the Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're at 44 lands, so we'd still like technically have to go down 2. And I think it's like, okay, well, we want to kind of keep the balance we have. It might as well be the ones that get basics and don't come in and like can tap for colorless.
Seems fine.
Yeah. All right, so that is 42 lands. And we have, let's look at the symbols here. Actually, really good. Wow, that's really good. I knew it would be good, but I'm still also surprised. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, we're golden. Alrighty.
I'm a pro at this, didn't you know?
Yeah, pro deck builder Misha Migo. As long as the commander is a little bit goofy and a little bit bug-like.
She locks in and knows what she's doing.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so what's the next cosplay? Is it going to be Zariel or is it going to be Hearthhall?
Actually, you want to know something funny?
Mm.
Reversal, when I saw him in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
he walked up to me and he was like, "Mish, I'm so disappointed in you." And I was like, "Why? What did I do?"
Mom?
Right? I was like, what did I do wrong? And he was like, You're not dressed up as the Gabagoo. And I was like, what? And it's the Goobu Gardener from Final Fantasy. He said that he saw that card and immediately thought of me and was like, I was real upset that you weren't the Gabagoo. And I was like, the Gabagoo.
Goobu Gardner. Oh, is that... this thing?
Goob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean... You know, now that I see... Yeah, you weren't dressed as that. You know what? I think I'm with them. You could have done those
in a
roles
way,
if you-
I'm like, I guess I've got to be the Gabagoo.
I guess you gotta be the Gabagoo. You could... Listen, I can imagine us in the airport as you're, like, sewing those teeth in, you know?
It's a normal day in the airport.
Honestly, with Misha Migo in tow, absolutely. Alright, so we are at 97 cards. We only need to add 3 more to get back within equilibrium.
Well, did we want to re-add some of the things we cut out? Like
Yes.
did we want to do the Omnath or any of those landfall?
Yes, I would agree with that. Dust Bowl and Demolition Field, not sure if they can be a good addition. We have Demolition Field. Dust Bowl, I think, was just like too expensive. Like it was just mana, like just it was a card that didn't need to, like, wasn't going to make or break the deck. So it's like we didn't need to add it. All right, I re-added Omnath. And we could also re-add Soul of Windgrace. Just so we can you know, we get some creatures back from our or some lands back from our graveyard to the hand or to the battlefield.
Did we not want to have the Augur of Autumn that lets us play off the top of our deck?
The other one, the 4-mana one, lets us play from the top of our deck and put another land into play.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. The Lone Crafter Fawn kind of seems fine because like we can discard lands to just bring back like entire permanents that are somehow dead. But I also it's either that or the Crucible of Worlds, the Conduit of Worlds, which just lets us do this at any time.
I think I like the Conduit.
Conduit, alrighty. Conduit it is. Alright, and there we go. That is our 100 card deck upgrade for Hearth Hall the World Seed. With Kuro Hitsuki and Mishimigo. Yes, you did! Absolutely. Thank you so much, bud. This would have been so much harder for me.
No, this is fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Alrighty. So, you're planning to play Undergrowth Recon? Oh, yeah! Wait, Undergrowth, hold on. Undergrowth Recon. That's the guy with the Peeping Tom card. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target land to your battlefield tapped. That is kind of cool. Huh. That is kind of cool. I guess. Okay. I see what you're I'm picking up what you're putting down. Duel, I wish you were here earlier. We would have included that. But it's too late. Our deck is too perfect. And it's completely unchangeable. I think this is super playable. I think this is super playable. Thank you very much, Mish. I will release you from your service so that you can have the rest of your night back. Mish Amigo, where can people find you on the internets?
You can find me pretty much anywhere as magic_Mishamigo, except for Blue Sky, where you can't have underscores, so you just shove it together, you know, as one does. But yeah, that's me. I'm usually doing weird cosplays or just being a goofy goober, if you're into that.
Which we are Magic players, so I'd say we are.
You know, more often than not, yes.
All right, Mish. Thank you so much for helping us with this deck tech. I'll see you later, friend. We gotta get some magic in sometime soon.
Yes,
bye.
Agreed. Bye.
Bye. All right, chat. That was a cool time with Mishamigo. Listen, when my friends come over on the stream and just come through and say hi, I'm just like, wait a minute. Let's just spend some time and come up with a deck together. Thank you very much, chat, for your help as well. So, I mean, I'll post this deck list around and everything. There's gonna be, I have quite a bit of content based around this deck, the next precon deck that comes out tomorrow, and just precon upgrades in general. So be sure to be on the lookout for all of those things because there's content to be had. But do know that you helped me come up with the first deck upgrade for this deck. There are going to be cards from the set itself that will probably be included in here because I can't see why not. Maybe a couple other spacecraft and things like that. So this might change around later, but initially, just like as an initial, hey, you know, here are some cards that you'll definitely want to pick up as soon as you can. Scape Shift definitely being one of them. Like if there's one solid, like, you know, $40 card that I would want anyone to upgrade this deck with, it would be Scape Shift. Like that would be my number one, like, hey, pick up a Scape Shift if you can. Everything else, you know, like even Crop Rotation is kind of like, you know, whatever. But definitely Scape Shift because that's just like such a huge burst in damage. But yeah, chat. That is gonna be it for us tonight. I know exactly where we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Decked Out because they're having their subathon going on, and we support our friends. Oh, Tappy's playing Magic though. Damn, Sag. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, today's Wednesday. All right. Looks like they're doing deck upgrades right now for Pirates. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it. Chat. I'll catch you later. Yeah. Alrighty. All 15 of us are gonna head on over. I will see you tomorrow for the Jeskai deck, which is the one that I'm personally the most excited about. I'm very excited about the Jeskai Precon. I look forward to putting that one together, and I'm definitely gonna need some help to try to see what we can put in that Jeskai deck that will make it a little bit more unique than, I guess, like what everyone is gonna kind of do. If you haven't seen the Jeskai Commander Precon, it's this one here, In Spirit, flagship vessel. It's all about going to combat, putting either counters or charge counters on a thing or on an artifact, and then having hexproof and all that cool stuff. So yeah, I do look forward to just seeing what we can do here. But until then, chat, I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful night. I appreciate you, and goodbye.